delay. Okay, I hope this is going well. Okay, apologies for the little delay. I got a random person at my door. By random, I mean somebody I know that came by for a second. So had to get this going real quick. Making sure this is all going good. Let me refresh this over here. Bro, I love getting ads on my own videos on here. Like, what are we doing here? What is this? Oh, this is so bad. What is this plus? Engage members. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Skip this. Okay, seems like we're good. Okay, good. Let me post this on here real quick. Let me go put this in one chat real quick. And post that up there. Okay, so getting everything still set up again. Meant to get this set up a bit before, but again, somebody came here, so I had to deal with that real quick. But yeah, we're here. So it is the 4-year anniversary of the channel. Pretty wild that it's already been 4 years, but it's been 4 years. You know, we started the channel before the 2022 season for the USFL. Sorry for the glare, you know. I don't know why this is doing this, but it's doing it. I could do like, but basically, right, we started before 2022 USFL season, so it was December, obviously, of 2021. And so, makes it year 4, heading into year 5, but yeah. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We can talk about a lot of UFL news we actually heard recently. Got other sports, whatever, you know, everything else, like I said. A lot of stuff we could. Wow, this new update they did to YouTube Studio is not that good. I haven't used YouTube Studio since they did this update, but in terms of overall the coaching hires and moves, right? We lost Skip Holtz, we lost Bob Stoops, we gained Ted Ginn Jr. out of left field, and like from what I'm seeing, I'm like one of the only guys that actually thinks it's not like a horrid move. I don't think it's a great move, but I don't think it's horrid, but yeah. So yeah, it's something. Let's see, just saw XFL Mike G again. Good old AFN crew being in here. Nice to see that. Just trying to keep getting everything up here. Again, we got Tua being benched. The Knicks won the great trophy or whatever. So yeah, we'll see. But Copa del Rey, I forgot that we even played that game today. I was so pissed at the last game I watched in Madrid. I just did not watch this one. But we'll take it. Yeah, 4-year anniversary. It's pretty great. Yeah, happy holidays. I know Hanukkah started a couple days ago. New Year's Eve is like 2 weeks away. Christmas is, oh crap, it's 1 week away. Dude, I still gotta get like 2 gifts. When I say I still gotta get gifts, like there's some gifts I can just go to Walmart and get, but I still need to get like 2 things online. So probably gonna have to order those. But yeah, so again, we're just gonna do some pretty much whatever, you know, kind of vibe for however long we do this one. In terms of some overall thoughts, you know, while we wait for people to potentially get in here and all that. Overall, the Ted Ginn hire, I still think it's just wild that it actually happened. I think that it's a complete out of left field one. Like, you literally hired a guy just out of nowhere that's been just out of football for a few years. And then, you know, especially considering the fact that you, for all intents and purposes, got him instead of Nolan because, you know, we all expected the Panthers roster to go to Columbus. Maybe that happens. So it's like you went from Mike Nolan to Ted Ginn Jr. You know, when you put it in that perspective, it looks really bad. But when you put it in the perspective that, you know, this is an Ohio State legend, it does make some sense. So, it's going to be sipping on that. It's wild for sure. I mean, the Columbus man, it's wild they got that. Hey, Ohio State legend, though. Who are you taking in the Lions vs. Steelers game this Sunday? Whose favorite NFL team is sadly the Carolina Panthers. I know Nope is in here, and I don't know if Adam's in here yet, but I told you, I know I told both of you guys that they were going to lose that game to the Saints. I had that feeling like weeks ago that they were going to blow that game, and they did. Now, as for the Lions Steelers, let me check this real quick. I'm going to make sure I don't put out anything. Let's see. That game is going to be played in Detroit. Pittsburgh is at 8-6, so they're gonna go 1-2 in their last 3 games. They've got the Browns, Browns, Ravens, and Lions. Probably gonna lose that game, though. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if they beat the Lions then lose to the Browns and Ravens. But you know they've got to maintain the 9-7 record or 9-8 record. So for them to do that, it would make a lot of sense. They end up beating the Browns and lose the other 2. So Wouldn't be too shocked. I know I was watching MMG talk about the Lions, and it is kind of true. Like, the Lions really do feel like that team that sadly, like, their window may have already closed to, like, win a Super Bowl. Like, obviously you can get hot, just like in hockey, but, like, 2 years ago, it really felt like that was their team, and even last year, despite the injuries. But then this year, it's, like, just not the same, right? The issues with the team when they play outdoors, the issue with the defense once again being bad, the fact that, the offense isn't insane as we kind of, like, you know what I mean? It feels like the Lions may have missed their true window, but they still have enough pieces there to where they actually could still rebuild it in a sense. But back-to-back years with your defense getting injured to high hell is just obviously not good. So I don't know. It's a weird one. Beating the Bucks. Hey, I hope we beat them, but I don't know. And also, like, the issue of the Panthers beating the Buccaneers is I fear that it's going to mean that we are going to end up re-signing Bryce Young for a lot of money, and I'm not really looking forward to that because I don't think we should pay Bryce, but we're gonna pay him if we keep winning, and that's what I'm kind of scared about, is we keep winning and we're gonna pay him and he's not really worth that money. Like, I'm sorry, but him playing against the Falcons really well, I don't think is justification enough to re-sign him to a big contract. Because, like, when you consider how much, like, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold are making, and the fact that they are just better quarterbacks than Bryce Young, like, those two are better, it's like, are we really going to pay Bryce Young, like, $40 million a year, potentially? Like, I could not justify it. I think we're going to pick up his fifth-year option, and we're going to see how next year goes, especially since this is a weak draft year just in general, but, yeah. I agree. I think the smart thing to do is just pick up his fifth-year option and wait and see. Like, I'd rather us pay an extra, like, $10 million a year, potentially, but know we're getting a good quarterback, then pay him now and maybe save $10 million, but then realize, oh crap, we have a bad quarterback. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather us risk having to give him $50 million a year than pay him $40 million now and then he ends up sucking. We'll have to see. Thanks, Rick. Yep, good old 4th anniversary. Pretty wild. That's already been that long, but hey, it's been that long. I mean, when we started this channel, this team still wore, purple and orange and also was around, but yeah. The New Jersey Net, they're Brooklyn. Oh, the Nets. Yikes. I don't even know what the Nets do. Dude, the Nets, I even forget about existing anymore. Like, ever since that, Katie's foot, toe being too far, I just don't remember what it is at all. But the team, I don't know. They're not the Knicks. The Knicks are actually competent this year. Still made a really stupid move with their head coach, but is what it is. Thanks, Royce. Nice to see you in here as well. I know you've been around here for a bit. Obviously, like, YouTube is what I'm talking about, also the channel, and, you know what I mean. So, yeah, it's just, Ted Ginn, man, it's still wild to me. Ted Ginn is wild. Now, Skip Holtz one, I know I saw somebody comment put it out, and it's like, it's hard to get rid of somebody, or not get rid of somebody, but, have somebody leave, and then you need to upgrade them, and it's like, we all know they ain't going to upgrade from Skip Holtz. Whoever they're going to hire is going to be a downgrade. If it ends up being AJ McCarron, that's a massive downgrade, considering you're going from the best coach in the league to guys never coached before. Not exactly the best call in my opinion. I don't think that would be the right thing to do, but you never really know. In terms of other stuff, let me see. Oh, that's a good thing to talk about. Okay. Let me make sure I do this right. Okay, I'm gonna hit. I don't use this too much. Okay, why am I on Google? I'm not gonna use this. I'm gonna use this. New window. Let's see. Where do I have this out? Window. I think this is the right one. I'm gonna do this one, and no, it's also the wrong one. What's the difference? Okay, we just having a laugh. We're gonna do new tab. There we go. Close that one, and we're gonna close this one. We're not close it, but we're gonna let's move this over here. Okay, do it again. I made it a bit small. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm gonna do what I do for my other channel. I'm just gonna make that like that big. I'll move it over here. So let's see, UFC 320. Bro, we're not even showing you 324. 324. There we go. So 324 card. I've seen a lot of people act like this is like not a great card for some reason. Like, this is a really good one. Do not trust Stallions fan. They think the league is dead. The Panthers should try and go for Mac Jones. Honestly, I wouldn't be fully against that. I really wouldn't. Fernando Mendoza via the Giants. Okay, no. He's probably going to get number 1. He deserved the Heisman. I don't think it was close. I know some people did, but yeah. So UFC 324, the main card is this. Obviously, I already forgot this fight got canceled because of course it did, because I think Rose pulled out. Like, this is a really solid card. Now, in terms of the fights, this title fight is a joke. For those of you that don't know, the number 1 contender basically is super pissed off Dana White because he, like, literally bailed from a title fight with no good reason. Like, when you pull out, like, the day of or the day before the fight, it's for no good reason, and that's what he did. And so he just really pissed off Dana. So the number 1 contender isn't fighting for the interim belt, and the champion that isn't fighting isn't hurt. He's dealing with a divorce. So he's having a divorce, and they're letting him get away with not defending it. It's one of, like, this is insane. Basically, the UFC, like, they literally are sucking the D of Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria. Like, whatever those 2 guys want, aside from keeping 2 belts, they're going to let him get away with. And it's not deserved. And Topuria definitely ain't deserved it. At least Islam is an icon, like, is an all-time great. Ilia still isn't that. But point is, you have 2 guys. One of them has no business fight. Paddy the Baddy has no impressive win. Like, the Baddy is bad. Like, let's pull up his fights real quick. MA profile, I'm not using, like, Michael Chandler, washed. King Green, I believe it's King Green, right? Pretty washed. Tony Ferguson, this is, like, the end of Ferguson. Like, this is his 3-fight win streak that got him a belt. He fought only once a year, so he's not even a real fighter. Like, he fights once a year, and they're all, like, older guys. And so it's like, congrats, you won, so what? At least Gaethje just did have, like, a decent win. Like, the Fiziev win is a solid win, and obviously did lose to Holloway. Like, Holloway should be fighting for it. Like, the Holloway-Oliveira fight that I don't know if it's confirmed. That's more of an interim fight than this. But, yeah, Rose didn't pull out. Grasso pulled out. Okay. I'm going to be honest. I don't care about either of them. Like Rose, ever since she's had, like, her boy managing or coaching her and all that. And then Grasso, ever since Grasso was like, oh, I beat Valentina in the second fight, when it's like, number 1, you only tied because the judges didn't want to screw over Mexico in the Mexican, fight card, because Valentina whooped your ass in that fight. But that's not here nor there. As for this fight, I hope Justin Gaethje wins. I know he's been crying about it, and usually I don't like it when guys are like, oh, I need a title shot like Embiid's MVP when he won it because he just bitched and moaned for a year. I'd rather see Gaethje win, because, like, dude, if Paddy the Baddy's an interim champion, that just... Oh, yikes. Kayla Harrison would name Amanda Nunes. If Nunes wins this fight, there is a legitimate argument she's just the GOAT of MMA. And I mean over any guy. If she pulls this win off, there is a clear argument she's the GOAT of MMA. And Nunes has been retired and is fighting Harrison, who famously really shouldn't be in this weight class. Like, she has to cut so much weight to make it. So if Nunes beats her, it is going to be insane. It just will solidify her as the GOAT, even with the 5 losses, considering most of them were early in her career. And the one time she lost when she was in her prime, like, she made all these excuses, and then she came back and whooped Pena's ass, proving that, maybe she was being legit. I could kind of care less who wins this fight. Selfishly, I'd love to see Kayla win this fight than Kayla fight Valentina and Valentina beat her, but that's probably not going to happen. But, you never know. Paddy the Baddy, exciting on a win streak. He's also passed every test so far in Cage Warriors and UFC. He definitely sells tickets. That's the one thing I will fully agree on. He sells tickets. He's one of those guys that, he is a star. Like, the whole issue with the UFC is they can't make stars. He is one. It's just, like, champion. I don't know about that. You know what I mean? Like, he hasn't won a big fight because, like, at the end of the day, the last 3 fights he's had are the same fight. They're the same fight. They're just, older guy nearing the end of his career. But he is a draw. That is 100% the God's honest truth. He is definitely that. And I thought the Raiders were bad. The College Gridiron Showcase just announced they hired former Michigan Panthers GM Steve Kozar. Okay, that might be why I didn't take the UFL job. Okay, that's a good one. No, because I know we were talking about that in that video a couple days ago, where you're like, did he, like, decline the league? But yeah, it's a nice one. Panthers playoff before GTA 6. Would you do a new video compared to your NFL playoff super prediction from the preseason analyst? I might. I know that was a members video, but I might do that one. The only reason I might not is because the ones that were real... Oh, that one. So, yeah. Wanted to see... And also, thank you for the kind words about the anniversary. I want to see when the schedule comes out next season. What's the game, folks, could come out so we could hang for UFL. I agree Paddy doesn't deserve a title shot. If he beats Justin Gaethje, what's your opinion? Yeah, I mean, if he beats Gaethje, it's a win. Like, I don't think either of these guys really should be fighting for the interim, considering Gaethje just lost to Holloway. But if he beats him, then, like, he's legit. Like, this is the real fraud check fight for Patty. He's like, look, let's say he beats Gaethje and then he ends up fighting Sarukian or Topuria and gets his ass kicked. My opinion of him won't change unless he gets super exposed. Like, I'm talking Bo Nickel RDR level of, like, bro got creamed. Unless that were to happen, he goes, beats Gaethje, and then loses to one of those two guys. My opinion doesn't change of him because, like, those two guys are just so much higher. If he beats Gaethje, my opinion is definitely gonna be much better on him. That's for sure. This fight I'm looking forward to. This is a good one. Sadly, because of the whole issue with the eye poke of doom, you know, the greatest UFC move of all time, you know, because of that, we don't have a real heavyweight champion right now. Like, you know, Aspinall is, but, like, he was losing the fight. The fact that we don't have a heavyweight champion sucks, because this is a really good number one contenders fight. Obviously, you still have, I'm forgetting his name, the heavyweight that should have beat Gane that got robbed, but then, you know, even though Dana said, we'll do right by you, he screwed him over in the end. You know what I'm talking about. This is a good one. Waldo's Cortez Acosta, because of the likes of Kevin Holland and Merab, it kind of went under the radar that he fought like 5 times this year and won a lot of them. And Derek Lewis is obviously a very fun guy to see. This is one that really does feel like a borderline number one contenders fight. Wherever wins this one, at worst is going to be the number 2 contender, but at best is going to be a number 1 contender. Looking forward to that fight. That's probably what I'm most looking forward to. Gene Silver, Arnold Allen. Honestly, I don't really care. O'Malley Yadong. I kind of hope Sugar wins, honestly. I feel like, I don't know, he's so weird because he's like he's like in on his own joke and it's working for him. Like when he was talking about the Merab one, it was like, I think it was a Sandhagen fight. He made like this really good joke where he's talking about like, you know, he's on a different level than Sandhagen because Sandhagen got, you know, taken down by like 27 times and Sean's like, you know, I only got taken down like 6 times. And then he was like, because I couldn't get back up. Like, you know, he was making fun of himself in a way that was funny. It's like ever since he got beat the second time, he's been actually a likable guy. So I kind of hope he wins. I guess the other fight's on the prelim. They really putting that as a prelim. I guess they are. Umar's gonna kill Figueiredo. I'd be stunned if that's not the case. Figueiredo's getting up there in age. Umar is legit. I think Umar's gonna kill him. Don't really care. Don't really care. Don't really care. You know, like I'm saying this in like I don't really care who wins. I guess I want Silver to win. I don't know. I think this is the non-factor. I don't think either of these women are going to win. Well, I don't think Rose's going to win the title, but yeah. Supergirl versus Superman, BNT. Okay. Who's your top 5 favorite fighters in the UFC? Wants to be the 3rd-round champion? Well, it is true. The 3-round champion is what you want to be. I would say in terms of 5, Valentina, definitely. I don't know. It's a tough one. Cortez Acosta is definitely somebody I'm starting to like. Like Merab, like those kind of guys that fight frequently. It's like Pereira. Like I really hate when I see a guy fight like once a year and get like all this glaze from the fan base. And it's like, dude, you fought once a year. Like if you're fighting an average of like 10 to 14 months, I can't really respect you on that level, barring specific circumstances. It's like Hazmat. I can't be a fan of him. Because when he says, oh, I'll fight, you know, in the next 2 months, I'm like, sure, buddy, because you've been doing that your whole career. So I can't really say that. The memes for DDP were hilarious, but obviously he got beat by Chimaev. But I would say that Merab definitely, somebody that's also just really likable. You know, very charismatic, just really likable guy. Cortez Acosta is definitely going up there. Aspinall has moved way far down on my list because of how he's handled the whole eye poke situation, but yeah. You didn't hear about all the movies getting leaked just so the Giants can't get a kicker. I don't know if I've seen all of the leaked movies and all that. I know I've seen some of them, but I don't know if I've seen all of them. We also got this going on. We got the CFP coming out as well. Can I find the bracket? Hey, look, it's the bracket I used in my members video. And it's the same one I used the year prior. Because I wanted to use the same one for simple reasons. You know what I mean. Okay, I gotta make sure nothing's going wrong on this end. Okay, good. We got the CFP bracket coming out. I think this is going to be... I honestly am looking forward to this. I think this is going to be fun. I will say, I think it's... I don't know, man. Like, I talked about my members video. This game right here, like, to me, legitimately, outside of, I would say, JMU, these are the 2 teams I cannot see winning the title. I could see Tulane pull off the super miraculous bracket win ahead of Alabama or Oklahoma. Like, when I watch these two teams all year, it's clear that, like, there's levels to college football. They're not at the level of a Texas Tech or an Indiana. Like, those two teams are just not that good. Seriously. Like, they're in because of the whole SEC. We're going to prop up the SEC in the preseason so your schedules look really good. Because, like, dude, neither of these two teams belong here. Seriously. Whoever wins this game is going to get exposed to Indiana. And if that doesn't happen, then, fuck me, I guess. Like, I cannot see either of them beating Indiana. I mean, seriously, I can't see either of them beating Oregon. I can't see either of them beating Ole Miss, and I actually have Tulane beating Ole Miss. I can't see either of those two teams doing it. I can't see them beat even Miami, and if I've been a Miami hater the last, 2 months, they are not legitimate. Come on, Aggies, let's at least look decent. Hey, I think you guys are going to beat Miami. I think you're going to beat Miami, and then you're going to lose to Ohio State. That's kind of what I find is going to happen. I think that at the end of the day, A&M, that game against Texas did expose some of the flaws of that team. I think that they're going to beat Miami because I don't really think Miami's a legitimate playoff team either. But when they do play Ohio State, it pretty much, I know last year all the, top seeds ended up losing, but there were certain things with, because of the fact that the buys were based on conferences, it wasn't the same. I think these top 4 seeds are, so clearly above everybody else. The distance from Oregon to Texas Tech, I think, is like this. I think it's clear those 4 teams are the best 4 teams in college football right now. And we'll see, but I think A&M's going to beat Miami. I hope they beat Miami, but I think whoever wins is going to lose to Ohio State. Just like I think whoever wins Ole Miss, Tulane's getting beat by Georgia. Just like whoever plays Texas Tech's going to lose, just like Indiana. JMU. Hey, I will say this. Before I answer Daniel's question, legitimately, I think that college football should, to fix the issues they have, they should turn it into a 20-team bracket. 20 teams. Doing this would only add 1 round to the playoffs, by the way. It only add 1 round. Because what you would do, because remember, the 12-team format right now could easily be changed to 16 teams and you have the same amount of rounds, obviously. What should be done is a 20-team format. Because remember, the Pac-12 is going to become a legitimate conference again next year. The 10 conference winners automatically get bids. At the end of the day, you should reward winning your conference. At the end of the day, as Herm Edwards famously put it, you play to win the game. Winning your conference should be, no matter how bad the ACC is one year, no matter how good the AAC is, no matter how dog water like Conference USA is, if you win your conference, you should make the playoffs. Then you make it to where it's purely ranked based, just like it is now, where the lowest 8 ranked teams play each other in a play-in sort of round or the first playoff round to then create the 16-team playoff bracket. That's what you should do. That way you can have 10 at-large teams, and then it's, if you don't make it as an at-large, you really didn't deserve it. You really did not deserve it. Obviously, there'll be arguments to the lower spots, you know what I mean. I think that would solve every issue, and it would make the most sense. You reward the winners of their conferences, because as much as people want to bitch and moan about, group of 5 teams shouldn't make it, there's the classic meme image that everybody uses, last year SMU got bodied in the first round, Tennessee got bodied, MSU famously got killed by Bama, Cincinnati put up a better fight against Bama than Georgia did in the next game, TCU making it to the title game and getting their ass kicked. Blowouts happen in the Power 4, but if you're going to have a true playoff, it should be rewarded for you winning your conference. Then everything else can be after it. I think that's the best move. Let me know what you guys think about that. That's what I think it should be. How many UFL teams are there now? It is still 8 now. They just ended up changing 3 of the teams. So the Michigan Panthers, San Antonio Brahmas, and the Memphis Showboats are no more. They are now going to have the Columbus Aviators, the Orlando Storm, and the Louisville Kings, which are just the off-brand Stallions. Optimistic about this upcoming season. Let me say, I still view now that 2027 is a higher likelihood than I had it a few months ago. But in terms of looking forward to it, it's less. The decisions to make it much closer to being basically a regional league is something I'm not a fan of. Getting rid of GMs, I'm not a fan of that. There's certain moves like that I'm not a fan of. I do like they're going to soccer stadiums. I like that they are realizing some of their mistakes, like the Roughnecks Gamblers change. They're trying to fix it. But we'll see. Charles DuBronx, Oliveira, Max Holloway, who wins that one? I honestly hope DuBronx wins, but if I were to bet, I'd bet on Holloway winning. I think Holloway is going to win that one. I think that I've got that feeling that we're at the end of Tony Ferguson era for Oliveira. I hope that's not true. I really do, since he did get the win, but I got that feeling. I don't know. I don't know. I got that feeling that Max is gonna win that one. I do hope that DuBronx wins. I'd love to see him get one, but yeah. Skip Holtz left. The league must be dead. It is a shame that he's left. I mean, it's not super shocking. The fact that, because at the end of the day, it comes down to this. It's important to remember this. The jobs were not full-time. The jobs were part-time. So it was like during the season and a bit before. So for the older coaches like a Skip, like a Stoops, like Wade, you basically were semi-retired. The fact that now it's full-time, you have to ask yourself this. If you're Skip Holtz, if I'm going to work full-time, would I rather try to get a college job or would I rather do this? And I think that's the answer that we know. We know which one Skip picked. We know what one Stoops picked, retirement. So yeah. My optimism is dropping, secretly looking at other leagues to follow in case there are experiment bombs. Yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, it's like you're going to have to use the basic, indoor football league, because that other, continental football league, I still don't fully buy into it, honestly. That's just my opinion of it. Maybe the European Football League, but yeah, the Rapol stuff is, give it time. Stallions fans having a meltdown over Holtz leaving. Some of the hardcore fans are trying to get refunds. I have seen that. I know State of the Stallions been well, Shannon currently is doing, I think, both. But I know that, I don't know, man. I know it's just State of the Stallions mentioning it, and it is true. What he reposted somebody else saying, that I do agree with. When they made this whole movement, Save the Stallions, you assumed Skip Holtz was going to be back as the head coach. So if you spend that money to get those season tickets, and then it turns out the guy that you wanted as your coach and you believe is going to be your coach isn't, that's got to hurt. Especially because at the end of the day, if it's A.J. McCarron, yes, it's, an icon in Alabama. You're going from an actual legend head coach in that state to A.J. McCarron. We going down. That's a downgrade. That's a massive downgrade right there. So that's kind of what it is for that one. Let's see. NFL playoff picture. Yeah, God, I hope I don't have anything bad show up on these searches. But NFL playoff picture. Let's see the playoff picture right here. Current playoff picture. We've got the two teams that have clinched, the Rams and Broncos, which. Yeah, imagine telling somebody before the season those would be the first two teams clinching. Even the Rams is shocking as a first team clinch. I think the Rams are going to be great. Look, I maybe get my ass kicked in fantasy overall, but I just beat Nope in the first round of playoffs. Humble brag. I'm still in the loser bracket. But the point is, the one thing I was right about was drafting Stafford. I had that sneaking suspicion that he was going to be legitimate this year, even with the whole back issue thing. He's been incredible. He is the MVP this year. It's going to take a Herculean effort from Drake May or Josh Allen mixed with Stafford just literally falling off a cliff for that to not happen. Stafford, it's his MVP to win. Legitimately, if I was him, I'd retire after this year unless it's an embarrassing exit, because if he goes on and wins the MVP and then has a decent playoff run, that solidifies him as a Hall of Famer. Because there's all those people saying, oh, he's not really a first ballot Hall of Famer. He has the yardage, but he only has one ring. He doesn't have all pros. He wins an MVP in that. I mean, he's a slam dunk first ballot Hall of Famer. Because then, there's no active quarterback that'd be better than him, aside from Mahomes. Because Allen wouldn't be above him. Lamar wouldn't be above him. Burrow wouldn't be above him. Phillip Rivers isn't above him. If he wins that MVP, he solidifies him. Oh, I forgot about Rodgers. He'd be third of the active quarterbacks by far. It'd be the top three and then everybody else. Because at the end of the day, are you going to take two MVPs and, one playoff win for Lamar versus MVP win, top 10 in every stat, and a Super Bowl winner? There's a difference. But, yeah. My roster sucked. Ridley's a good take. Number one seed is wild, though. That was the first round in the playoffs. Yeah, it was the first round in the playoffs. Now, currently, in the hunt, these two teams are basically guaranteed. Same with the Bills. The Bills are basically guaranteed. Even the Chargers. Hey, you know what? Chargers, man, Jim Harbaugh, you're better than your brother right now. I think it's pretty clear that at least at the moment, Jim is a better coach. And in terms of overall all time, there's still an argument that Jim's a better coach all time. Only issue is he's kind of wore out his welcome everybody's been at. When you consider what he did at Stanford, what he did with the 49ers, what he did with Michigan, and what he's done. Oh God, I forgot. We can talk about that. And then what he's done with the Chargers. This Chargers team being 10-4 is insane. Like, I'm not even. If I had a Coach of the Year vote, I might give it to Harbaugh over Vrabel. The amount of injuries this team has had. You gotta remember, this team, even with Herbert, they were built to run the ball. Both their running backs have been hurt for either like the whole year or a decent part of the year. They've lost Rashawn Slater for the whole year, and Joe Alt missed a bunch of weeks, and they just kept winning. Even Herbert's like playing hurt, and they're still winning. The Texans, man, D'Amico Ryan's insanely good defensive mind. He is proving to, like, the Niners proving to, again, talked about it in the video earlier today, coaches need to find good coordinators. Robert Saleh into D'Amico Ryan's, holy crap, what a duo of defensive coordinators the Niners have had. Even the Niners are looking really good. They have a good argument for Coach of the Year. I mean, the NFC West is basically locked up 3 playoff spots. It's basically a matter of, do the Buccaneers or Panthers get this spot, and then do the Packers or Lions get this spot? I know technically I think the Panthers the Panthers still could get the 7 seed, but they have to have everything go right. Lamau. The Ravens are basically cooked. Same with the Colts. It's a shame. The Colts. This is going to go down as an all-time collapse. This is an all-time choke job. Because the thing is, people are going to blame the injury to Daniel Jones. Even before he got hurt, he was turning into a pumpkin. Like, this Colts team is an all-time collapse. They were, 7-1 or 8-2, and they've fallen to 8-6. It's a disaster. Meanwhile, the Texans having this massive rebound. It's crazy. And then good old Tomlin, man, he's going to finish with his patented 9-8 record, and then he's going to get his ass bounced in the first round of the playoffs, and then he's not going to get fired. In all honesty, if it wasn't for the fact that they're in the same conference, and especially same division, John Harbaugh for Mike Tomlin as a 1-for-1 trade would fix both those teams' problems almost instantly. Because it is clear that they have both really worn out their welcome in their city for one reason or another, and they're living like it's Groundhog Day. They're trying to get out of this same hole they're in and this same issue. They need to trade. The issue is it's the Steelers and Ravens. You know damn well they're never going to do that. But if this was like, let's say, I don't know, the Colts and the Panthers, like, this would be the way to solve both teams' issues. Because it could also show which coach is really done. But I think that both of them need to swap. At the end of the day, Tomlin's never had a quarterback like Lamar. Obviously, Big Ben was a legend. I'm talking about like that kind of quarterback and overall roster. Whereas Harbaugh hasn't had that sort of like foundation that the Steelers have. I think it'd be necessary, but they ain't gonna do it. Super Bowl predictions. What teams do you think in the Super Bowl this year? And final score I'll talk about in a second. Chargers basically IR and they still beat the Chiefs. As a Vikings fan, I just want to knock as many teams out of the playoffs. 9, baby. JJ McCarthy not looking ass. Also, it was a matter of time for the Chiefs. I could see the Steelers beating a team. Jags are a surprise team. They definitely are. I will say that for sure. In terms of Super Bowl prediction right now, absolutely not. This team is frauds. I called that day one when they got Micah, which I will say, wild how that trade is aged so just well and poorly. Because, like, Jerry literally said, I don't want to pay Micah because you could get hurt, and then he tears his ACL at the end of the year. Like, I'm not trying to make fun of. I'm like, you know why I'm laughing. It's just, it's so ironic. Especially as at the same time, the Cowboys made this big trade for Quinnen Williams, and it worked for about one game. Like, you can't make that up. Like, you want to talk about a lose-lose trade? That's one right there. They're frauds, absolute biggest frauds here with that quarterback, with that team, big frauds, somehow still alive. They're not going to do it. Their injuries are going to catch up to them. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Wow. I think it's going to be the Rams or the Seahawks. It's going to be the Rams or the Seahawks going against... God. When I look at the AFC... Hold up. I'm going to go to here. I opened the wrong tab. I got like 7 tabs open for some reason. Playlists. That's the wrong playlist. Channel members, videos. I want to see if I remember who I picked. I believe I remember who I picked. Season predictions. Mute that. You know what? I'm going to go with the Texans. I had the Texans in my preseason making the conference title game. F it, we ball. I'm going to go with the Texans. I think it's going to be the Texans versus the Seahawks or Rams. I for the life of me, I cannot pick which one I think is going to win because I could easily see either team pull it off. I really could between them. I think the NFC, to me, it is clear, again, to me, that those are like the two best teams in this conference. Like, I know with the Buccaneers in like the preseason, I just can't see it with this team. I think the Seahawks and the Rams. I think the Bears they're gonna lose because they're inexperienced. The Eagles, this is literally just copy and paste 2023. The AFC is tough, but at the end of the day, defense wins championships, and this defense, holy shit. This is, if it was any team that isn't the Texans, they'd be talked about so much more. But because it's the Texans, like, they're one of those teams where because it's the Texans, nobody gives a crap. This team's defense is just so insanely good. It really is. You've got your, great linemen like Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. You've got your guy that is just there to get a bunch of penalties in Azeez Al-Shahir. You've got, like, I think Derek Stingley's there, and there's, like, it's such a good team. I think they have a realistic shot of pulling it off. If it's not the Texans and I would put a second pick, I'd honestly go the Broncos just because they have experience from last year. So I would say it's going to be the Broncos or Texans against the Rams or Seahawks. That'd be my pick, would be those. Jaguars are fun to watch. Chiefs had it coming. Throwback time. The Bills might actually win this 7th seed AFC. If the Bills had the Texans, this be a clean sweep. People would respect the Texans more. CJ was playing as rookie level. That is true. So, Lil Cam, I hope with my Chiefs downfall that we have a Battlehawks uprising. The Chiefs, man, it really is wild. Like, I'm assuming a lot of us watched that game live. Look, an ACL injury isn't the same. An Achilles injury, you just need to view it one time and you know it's an Achilles. That's one of those times where it was clear he tore his ACL. Like, that hurt to watch. I'm not even joking. For how bad Achilles injuries look to watch, that Mahomes injury looks even worse, even though it's not technically as bad because an Achilles is, like, really bad. But, like, it just, like, when you watch the replay, like you squint, you're like, okay, he's done. He's done for the year. Gardner Minshew, the people's champion, throw that interception. It's a shame for Mahomes. It's a shame because people are, I've already seen a bunch of people talking about when it was Brady's age, this was the same age. Brady went and won undefeated and lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl. It's like, who gives a shit? Like, again, Mahomes already won, like, 3 Super Bowls. Like, he's already on, like, Brady's, like, trajectory. And again, Brady also tore his ACL 1 year. Now, granted, the difference is that team played the whole year without Brady. Basically, this team didn't. Ironically, it was against the Chiefs. He tore his ACL, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody fact-check me. I'm pretty sure that's when Brady tore his was against the Chiefs. And so, who ironically got Matt Castle, who was the quarterback of that team. So, it's, yeah. I mean, Missouri Battlehawks Championship is a repeat of Brady. I would love to say Broncos because I'm a Knicks fan, but they barely win games. They win, but I don't trust that barely win mode. It is true, because here's the one thing. They're very reminiscent of the Vikings from a few years ago, right? I know Nope knows this because he's a Giants fan, but the Vikings team from a few years ago, yikes. That team clearly, like, was bad. That's the one difference from me. When I look at this team, the Broncos, compared to that Vikings team, do I think this team is better than that Vikings team? I do think so. Now, is it true that they're winning? But it's also like this. They're like the Chiefs last year. This team feels more like the Chiefs last year than the Vikings from a few years ago. It feels like they're one of those teams that just everything's working in their favor. And I just wouldn't be shocked if they pull it off. Because at the end of the day, I still don't think Josh Allen is that guy in the playoffs. I just don't. I know that there's the whole 13 seconds game. I don't think he's that level. Like I've said it before, when it comes to playoff quarterbacks, like, you've got a Joe Burrow and you've got a Josh Allen. When the playoffs arise, Allen goes like to here, Burrow goes off the chart. Because, again, Burrow was his, defender not hitting Mahomes like 4 yards out of bounds away from beating him twice and having 2 runs to the Super Bowl, whereas Allen is clearly not Mahomes. So, I don't think they're insane. I think that the issues with the Chargers' health will eventually catch up to them. The Steelers, I don't think anyone in this chat even thinks they're going to make it to the second round. The Jaguars, dude, with how the season's going, I wouldn't be shocked. With how this season is going, I actually wouldn't be shocked. But I just can't buy into this Jaguars team. I cannot buy into a team quarterbacked by Trevor Lawrence in the year 2025. Well, it'd be 2026 when the playoffs happen, so maybe. I don't know. I just don't see it. Usually these more often to be fun. It is fun to do this one, especially if we haven't done one in a while. I thought it was a really cool idea to do this for the live one, but at any moment, Bo Nix can turn to Mo Picks. And it throws Boverthrows, patented Boverthrow. I mean, true. It's just, the AFC is wide open. The NFC, I think, is, like, super closed door. It's going to be an NFC West team. I would be stunned if it's not an NFC West team. But the AFC, I could see a world where any team but the Steelers make it to the Super Bowl from the AFC. I really could. Someone said they thought the Steelers could win one. Well, I don't know. I think we're talking about. I don't know. Yeah, I forgot about that. No, but yeah, I don't think this. The Steelers, man, yikes. Even if the Colts, even including these two teams, I would be more certain that one of these two would win in the first round than the Steelers. Like the Steelers are going to be beating the first round like they always are. Chiefs, Dolphins, man, they almost pulled it off. They really did, and then they lost to the Steelers somehow. So yeah, it's the Cardinals, man. What a fun team. I gotta look that up. I gotta look up Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett has been just, like, insane this year. Like, bro took over for, post-game. He's took over for Kyler Murray, and he's been so much better. Like, he's been so much better. They're just throwing the ball every single play. Okay, let's see. So, this, dude, like, I gotta be careful, because ESPN will play an ad that will copyright my video. But when you look at it, like, you know, it comes in here, 320, 279, 261, 258, 400, 300, 300, 270, 249. Like, dude, this stat line against the Texans defense is insane. Like, when you consider the Texans defense only taking 2 sacks, only throwing 1 pick, having 3 touchdowns, like, this is an insanely good stat line against that team. I mean, like, this game was wild. I think this was, like, the record for most attempts in a game ever, or most completions. I don't remember which one. Like, Jacoby is just throwing that ball. And I think it's really showing that, like, Kyler Murray isn't that guy, is what it's really showing, is that he's not that guy. Because, man, Jacoby Brissett has been fun to watch. That's been a fun team to watch when you watch him. When Seattle still had a spring football team. Oh, man, the poor Dragons. God, I hope they don't bring back the Sea Dragons. Please bring back the Dragons. That logo was so much better. Someone picked up Jacoby in fantasy and killed it. Forgot about that. I forgot he had a good game. If Rodgers is able to sneak some ayahuasca, bruh, that'd be great. Quinn Ewers, yeah, that's great. Quinn Ewers getting the start right over Tua getting benched. Yeah, that was another experiment that failed. That was one of those tank for Tua. You know, in the end, you know, Brian Flores, man, talked all this shit about Tua, and apparently he was right, you know, which isn't super shocking to me, but, you know, sometimes people, you know, they get so hyperfixated on, like, Tua, he's going to be this all-time great quarterback, Alabama baby, forgetting that, you know, usually Alabama quarterbacks aren't good. And then didn't work out. Like, you know, you bet on us to get in the playoffs. We just got to cross the hurdle. Yeah, sadly, that's a question mark now about keeping back. Is he going to be moved to Orlando? Is he going to go to college? You never know. I hope he stays. I'm still salty that, you know, he might stay and Nolan didn't. But, like, dude, no way he should be moved to Orlando. That'd be stupid as hell. I forgot about the Bears. I forgot the Bears literally moved from, like, the number 1 seed to the number 7 seed, and they just moved back to the number 2 seed. I forgot about that. That's another team I did not expect to be good this year. Granted, it's still funny because I believe Caleb Williams is still not on track to actually do anything. He's not on track for 4,000 yards. Yeah, he's not. He's still not. The Bears' streak of 4,000-yard passes is going to continue. He's still not. That's actually cinema. That's cinema right there. That's what you love to see. Dual Dark QB, we're so good. Trust. Let's see. NFL MVP odds. Looking at the awards, I believe Stafford's like minus 300. Yeah, like this is pretty clear cut. It's gonna be. Bo Nix. Okay, we just thrown anybody. Jordan Love. Okay, that's sure. Stafford at 300. Again, makes a lot of sense. Josh Allen probably going to win it. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Travion Henderson. Wow. I don't agree with that. Travion Henderson only played like half the year. Like, he was basically like fully a bench warmer for half the year. Again, this race has been pretty weak, all things considered as well, especially considering last year. Wow, Schwarzenegger has been falling. He was like the favorite. I mean, I know M.N. Warrior's been doing great, but still, that's a bit shocking. Offensive Player of the Year, JSN, yeah, that's pretty clear. Jonathan Taylor's just disappeared the last few weeks. JSN, his bad games are still like 100 yards. DPOY, honestly, this is a good bet. Like, it's so funny to say, but like seriously, like a minus 10 grand for Garrett honestly feels a bit low. Like, this should be like minus 25,000. Like, bro is gonna break the sack record. It's so clear cut. It's not even close. This is Mike McDonald. I fully disagree with this one. The Seahawks are good, but like they were good last year. Like more deserving, more deserving, more deserving, more deserving, not more deserving. Not really. Considering the season, more deserving. Still more deserving. Wait, like Mike McDonald is like legitimately more deserving than like one of these guys. That's insane. Comeback player of the year. You know, I heard somebody joke about this, but I kind of thought it was untrue. This is wild. This is wild. He's at plus 500 for one game. Hey, you know what? Maybe Joe Flacco stole it from a guy who came back from the dead. Now, granted, that was, again, obviously Flacco should have won it. I am stunned people thought that that DeMar Hamlin should have won it because he came back and didn't play. But, like, this would be hilarious. This would be absolute cinema. Phillip Rivers getting the award over Christian McCaffrey almost. Like, isn't McCaffrey almost on pace for another 1,000 season? And they're just like, here, go, Phillip. You came back after, like, weeks. Let's go. It'd be great. Will they have a Chicago franchise in the UFL? I've been campaigning for it to a degree. I think that Chicago has a solid soccer stadium nearby, but I don't think they're going to go there for at least, like, 6 years, even though I think it's a really good option, honestly. Supposed to open by 2028. I suppose it's possible. Manny Wilkins is my favorite. I hope he starts. Doubt Wilkins comes back. That injury. Oh, yeah, I don't even want to think about that injury. That injury sucked to watch. That really did. Sticking with the Browns unless he implodes. Yeah, he definitely is for sure. Schmidt's definitely going to stay with the Browns. That's for sure. He's going to stay. Mevis is going to stay. Aubrey's going to stay. Bates is going to stay. That's your 4 right there. You never know. Harvick probably won't get called up. JPR might get called up, but you never know. Favorite fight of 2025? My favorite fight was Topuria Holloway, was Max KO and Gage. That was a great one. I don't know which I would say is my favorite fight, honestly. I can't recall off the top of my head which would be like the fight that I was like, oh, that was a really good one. But that KO over Gaethje was really good. That was a cool one. They literally like fought like 10 seconds left and then just knocked him out. Dustin Poirier going out was cool as well. Should we talk about this one? Can we talk about this one? I mean, I would hope most of you know this whole situation with Sharon Moore about how, you know, cheating is in the blood of Michigan coaches, just different kinds of cheating, I guess you could say. The fact that, like, all of this came out within, like, 6 hours on a day of Twitter, just a random, like, this is like a Thursday, I think. I'm trying to remember because, like, I think it was like a Thursday this came out. Like, this was just, like, what the hell? Like, this news was just so random. Like, for those of you who don't know, for, like, the one of you that doesn't know, Sherrod Moore, the head coach of Michigan, you know, one of, like, the 5 best head coaching jobs in college football, gets fired out of nowhere. And people are like, you know, some are happy, some are upset. And that's, like, with cause. He was banging a coworker. Okay, so you think, like, the Ime Udoka situation with the Celtics. And you're thinking, okay, well, is it like a deserved firing for banging a chick? Or is it like they're just kind of screwing him over because of HR stuff? Then you find out, or then you remember, bro's married, has kids. Okay, that's really bad. She got a 55% raise. Really bad. He broke into her house. Hold up. Wait a minute. He threatened to kill himself in front of her. And then, like, it keeps getting worse. It literally kept getting worse. And it's like so many things have come out, like the OnlyFans stuff, him trying to set up like a 4-way with OnlyFans models, or offering like season tickets to chicks. Like, dude, this was wild. Like, if you are a Michigan football content creator, oh my god, the big Michigan content creators, whoever they are, they probably made so much money thanks to this. They were able to get so much content out on this. Because, like, you could have, if you were up to date with news videos, you could have easily made, like, 6 videos the first day this came out, then, like, 2 videos the next 3 days it came out. Like, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse for this. And remember, this is a dude, like, a year ago beat Ohio State out of nowhere in one of the most shocking upsets. And then it's, like, him getting his mug shot. Let's see, how high up is his mug shot? Well, that's not the mug shot, but that's definitely one of them. Breaking news, yeah, ESPN. Wife and kids, that's so messed up. Mug shot. There it is. The mugshot. Sharon Moore. Michigan man. That's a banger shirt right there. I don't know if you can see it on there. Okay, you can't fully see it, but you can kind of see it. That's a banger shirt right there, Michigan man. I don't know if it's as good as the free Scotty shirt. This is probably the best. This is probably the best one. The free Scotty shirt, that one's better, but that Michigan man's a good one. I find it. What y'all going over already? We talked about the NFL playoffs. Picture the CFP, all that, the coaching moves or news for the UFL. Talked about that. Now we're just talking about the Sharon Moore stuff. I find that T-Man kicks off his campaign with the Chiefs, totally ending their season. The Rig Sports Guru will be all over with Graham system kicks off. I mean, it's wild. He went out with a champion. This whole story it is definitely something insane. Like, the whole Sharon Moore situation is just so insane. It really is. I mean, it just keeps getting worse, and it's like, I think he's out on bail, but he has like something. It's just insanely wild, this whole situation that just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And then apparently now we got long history domestic violence, maybe, which if that's the case, it's just, it just keeps getting worse. And I think it's just wild. Like, this story is insane. Now, yeah, we're talking about random news stuff and all that. Thank you, Sharkmako, for that. Pretty wild. It's been 4 years now. In terms of something that I know not everybody here super cares about, but I would assume that a decent amount of you at least have heard about this one. In terms of the biggest news this past week, in terms of sports adjacent, this was probably the biggest one, was PSA acquiring Beckett. Dude, I did not even know ESPN made an article about this. Why am I going to ESPN? I am not getting my video copyright striked again. Or not striked, but not getting that happen again. But this was a big deal for it to happen. Now, I got a video coming out on my other channel, but basically what ended up happening is PSA parent company is Collectors. They just bought Beckett, which is the second long-standing grading company, and this is like about a year and a half after they bought SGC, which was up and coming. Basically, they are doing the Vince McMahon WCW thing where they're buying their competition, and it's not the best. It's not good for the hobby because they're saying a lot of things like, oh, we're going to keep it as an independent brand, which is exactly what they said to SGC, exactly what they said when they bought Wada Games. Wada Games now is officially PSA Games, so yeah, they didn't want to keep the Wada name after they got sued for a ton of money because they were showbidding their own stuff. and all the people moving chips to Beckett as a boycott move just folded and sold their collections. And then it's like SGC, right? They were like, oh, it's going to be an independent brand. They're going to keep doing what they do. And then they just slowly siphoned graders away from SGC. They slowly brought them to PSA. And now SGC is basically a vintage-only company. I expect Beckett is going to basically become just a hockey thing. Because, hockey collectors, casually grabbing this. Hockey collectors, they love these because of, obviously, the subgrades. Yeah, you're not going to be able to focus, I bet. But, yeah, I'm shocked G-Man isn't here either. It definitely does suck, but hopefully he'll get here at some point. But you see the subgrades, this is what a lot of hockey collectors love. They love, my Steven Stamkos Cup RPA Gold, and now my camera's there we go. But hockey collectors love Beckett because they're despite it being the most physical sport, hockey collectors are the most I don't know what the best word is to describe it, but they're the best collectors in a sense. They care about the subgrades. They care about, they know that, a thick card isn't going to grade high. Because, football and basketball collectors will literally bitch and moan that, an NTRPA is, a little corner ding. Bro, of course it's going to have a corner ding. It's a thick card. But hockey collectors do. So I have a feeling Beckett's going to become, exclusively, almost a hockey collecting grader. And, some people going after the black labels. It is definitely monopolistic. In reality, it's duopolistic. Because you also have CGC. Because pretty much, for grading in general, cards, comics, coins, money, tickets, packs, whatever, both of them basically control the biggest or second biggest company in everything. Because PSA does own PSA coin grading. I don't remember who they own, but they own some sort of coin grading, if I'm not mistaken. Scroll down. Okay, we're just having a laugh. Pricing, service, authentication, and grading. Okay, they're not showing here, but they own some sort of coin grading one, I believe. I think it's this one, yeah. But like they own a coin grader. CGC is one of the biggest ones. Like at worst, they have like the third biggest. Like both of them each have like the third biggest of something. It's a big shame. It sucks. It's gonna create this duopoly between CGC and PSA. They're just gonna fight each other for the #1 spot and everything. It's only big L. I would assume South Florida wins that one. They had a really good year this year. I haven't watched Old Dominion at all, but I do think South Florida probably wins that game. I would suggest that. I'm honestly like, I'm debating on going to the Myrtle Beach Bowl because it is probably one of like the 4 best bowl games, honestly. Like not counting the playoff bowl games, it's one of the best ones because it's 2 actual champions. It's, Western Michigan against Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State just out of nowhere, the Owls are a good team. I might go to it. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I just, they announced tickets to like 2 bands I want to go see, and I know those concerts are way away, but then it's like I got to spend money for those ones, so I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know, Jim. Ooh, Tony Romo. Okay. The point is, though, this PSA thing, really bad news. I know Royce definitely knows a lot about this since he's a card guy. It's a really big L. Like, I've got cards graded by, like, all of the graders pretty much. Like, minus Tag. I don't give 2 shits about Tag. But, like, pissed off Tag shills that aren't in this chat. Thank God I didn't say that on my other channel. But, like, I've got SGC cards, like an SGC. I've got PSA. I don't have them on, I almost knocked something over. I've got CGC cards as well. Like, that's one I just sent most recently. But, like, the CGC cards I have are, like, behind the wall you can't see over here. Behind that wall is the CGC cards. Since I have Pokemon ones. I also have sports cards in CGC, but yeah. Well, Joe Tess, I would assume he does. I would be kind of shocked if he doesn't, so that's definitely one I would probably assume that he's going to come back for sure. I would assume that one for sure. But, yeah, it's just, go to the bowl game, bro. Sure got to, and bowl game if you can. I might, because last year I went to my first ever one. I went to the, okay, I could fit the pinstripe. Yeah, the pinstripe bowl last year. Between BC and Nebraska last year, because my cousin goes to BC, but yeah. I did not get any of the 25 UFL cards. Like, I didn't even fully complete what I wanted to the 24 set. When I saw the 25 set, I was like, man, they, like, made it worse. Like, they added an insert set, which I was really glad about, but they overall made it worse. Like, there was less dual autographs, less special autographs, and I was just like, man, I wasn't going to spend that much money on that. Like, to me, it's like, for the price of, like, because they kept the same price for the box, like $80 or $70, and it was like, if I, instead of buying, like, 3 of those boxes, I could buy, like, a nice comic book, or I could buy a nice, sports card of somebody, or Pokemon card. Like, I could get a bunch more Wiley cards from my Wiley collection, world's best Josh Wiley card collection. And so I just didn't do it. Like, I've been posting my 24 cards every couple of weeks on Instagram to try and stay somewhat active on there. Like, I got a decent amount of high glosses, but I just didn't bother 25 cards. I know even Jake, UFL cards, I don't even think he really got that many, if any at all, for similar reasons, because, like, compared to the 24 set, it was just kind of worse. So, sadly, no. The 1 year St. Louis doesn't host the championship, you'll win it all. Honestly, I think that would be a good thing. I think it'd be really cool to see that happen, to see them actually win and do it out of there, because then, could give even more hope to St. Louis fans, though it'll probably bring the championship back there, but we'll see. In 6-10 months, I wouldn't say so, because I know it could happen, but I don't remember who, but we did see a couple of players get ACL injuries, and it usually takes them, like, about a full year to come back. Maybe, like, they'll save 2 months. Like, 10 months isn't too far off. I wouldn't be shocked. Like, he's probably going to miss at least, like, let me put it this way. I think he's going to be put on IR next year. I think he'll be on IR, and I think he'll only miss the minimum 4 games, maybe a 5th. That's what I would say is probably going to happen. Got to take off. Proud of what you've done for the past 4 years. Definitely keep inspiration. Me and all the AFN guys. Good work. Thank you for being here for a bit, Royce. Hope you have a good night as we keep this going for a bit. Keep going and all that. It's definitely something else for sure. I mean, I think he'll be back. Like, Mahomes will be back, but it's going to be, like, after an IR stay. But yeah, the UFL card set, I just couldn't keep going. Oh, that reminds me. I did get a really nice one. Okay, so let me pull up these boxes. I got to move all this stuff I have on here. Let me bring these 2 boxes over. This area is like sort of... Okay, well, I only dropped one thing, and it was something I don't really care about dropping. So let's get these 2 boxes here. And put that one here. Hope I don't mess something up. I guess I'm gonna just hold. I'm just gonna hold into this box. I don't know where else to put it. I got too much shit on my desk. Okay. Earlier this year, I actually picked up a really sick. I got the wrong damn box. I got a really sick spring football card that I do got to show. So I hope Royce is still here. And if not, I'll have to DM him. I got this super nice card. I forgot that my AF cards are in an own box. Do you just have big boxes? Okay, those are on a chair. They're on a table. I've got like 4 of these boxes on a table in here. I also got a table outside with a bunch of cards. I also got that showcase, which if you guys want to see what's on that showcase, just let me know. And I've got the cards in the showcase right here and back there, and another box somewhere in the house. I still have my E.G. Perry, Luis Perez, Jordan Tayami, Otto. Nice, love to see that. It had way too much stuff in it, diminishing good pulse. Oof. Let's see the UFL League becoming our version what the AFL, NFL Boomers got brought up on. It would be awesome if we got to see this league keep going for sure. This is what I picked up earlier this year. Okay. Let's see. So it's the man, the myth, the legend, Luis Perez. Please load, or not load, but yeah, you can see it. That's the 101 black Luis Perez Future Stars. Ended up getting that one earlier this year. Some dude put it up for an auction best offer. I best offered him stupidly cheap price. Even for spring football, this is a 3-figure card, low 3 figures, but still this is a card that I know I could be yo, UFL cards, you want to buy this for $100? And he'd buy it like that. It's an AAF one. This is his actual rookie card. I guess $15. Really happy about it. I know it's the best AF card I have and overall best spring football card I have. Well, best new spring football. Obviously the best one is the one I showed last year when I showed the Anthony Carter autograph 9. That's the best overall spring football card I have. I still stand by it's the best Anthony Carter card in existence. Even though it's not a 10, I still stand by it. So, you got that one. Then other AF cards, I got, does work in card selling. Yes, I do sell cards. I haven't sold a bunch recently, but I do have some. In this specific box we got right here, we've got, the sealed Diamond and Pearl pack. The sealed Platinum Arceus pack. This is the Spanish Heart Gold Soul Silver. It's the cheap one, but I opened a booster box earlier this year as a gift. Phantom Forces. Maybe there's Gengar in there. I did answer that a bit earlier. The new ones are going to be the Louisville Kings, Columbus Aviators, and the Orlando Storm, replacing the Michigan Panthers, the San Antonio Brahmas, and the and the Memphis Showboats. Still don't know which roster going where. Try and get it signed if you can. I know Jake has told me I should for sure. Maybe. What else is in this box? I've got a mini collection of 2013 Select, the first year of Select. Gold Hot Rookies of some dude, Ken Real Thompson, Arthur Brown Gold Auto, Ryan Griffin, DJ Fluker, actual good card, Cordell Patterson, rookie out of 15, Le'Veon Bell, another actual good card out of 15. Insane how cheap these are. These 2 cards, were less than, dude, when you no, here's the thing that's crazy. These 2 cards are Cordell Patterson and Le'Veon Bell. These are legitimately 2 of the best rookie cards for these 2 players. These are the green or emerald out of 15. These were less than $30 each. Blaine Gabbert and Dustin Hopkins, Beckett 10. So it's wild that those are that cheap. Again, when you consider that getting a rookie of a literal some dude today is so much more than that. I've got the Decade Dominance Silver Jim Brown in a 10. I got 2 other 10s in here, or not 10. I got 2 other Prism Silver of that. I got a few cards in here that are 2 that I'll eventually sell at some point. These 2 alt arts at some point I'm gonna sell them. One I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with is the Karen alt art PSA 8. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that one. Then I've got the N alt art in a CGC 9. This is a really actual really nice card that I got. Very happy I got that one. I did not expect it to get a 9 when I sent it in. I was expecting an 8. Very happy got a 9. So those are a couple big ones. Very happy. But those are some of the cards I've got. And now I gotta fit this back. It's like a Jenga puzzle. I gotta make sure nothing else falls when I put this stuff back, because I got too much on this little table. Like, this is a super tiny table, and we got like all this stuff on it. I gotta clean it at some point. Not clean it, but I gotta like reorganize it. But you know, that's for future me to do, not current me to do. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference from future me and current me. Current me doesn't want to do that, but future me do. I have to go. Thank you for responding to my questions. Congrats for your thank yous, Daniel. Nice to see you in here as well. Hope you have a good night. Go back over here real quick. Let's see what's going on in the live stuff. It's Dolphins and Bench 2 attacker very low. It's still funny. They're alive. Bro, they're alive on my anniversary. That's cringe. But yeah, so those are some of the stuff, you know, again, those are just some of the cards I've got. Like, the big heavy hitters are, like, on my shelf next to me, and the shelf back there, like this shelf, and then that shelf over there is where, like, all the big stuff is. Not, like, every big thing, but most of the big things are over there. And a lot of it, like, I got my 2 biggest items this year because of the fact that I ended up doing really well with some Pokemon stuff. Like, I ended up betting, like, I spent, like, a decent amount on some boxes at very good time where it was, like, right before they started booming. So, like, I didn't have to wait for them to go up. They just, like, went up quickly. So I made, like, over 2x, like, a decent amount. I was able to get, like, a couple big items for it, which was really nice, and that helped the collection out a lot this year. So it was nice, you know, it was nice getting some stuff like that for sure. You know, again, the Josh Wiley collection should have been better, but, you know, I had a dude that I won like an NTR, or not RPA, but autograph out of 10. I won for like opening bid. Dude refunded me the money, then relisted it, and I was like, the hell? And then I hit him with a nice, good old negative feedback when I could, and yeah. It would have been nice if I got the card instead of having to give him a negative feedback and, you know, be out $10 for like 3 days, but it is what it is. Put the old leagues in there too. It would be cool for you to go up a video game like that for sure. I think that'd be actually a really cool one, but maybe they can do something like NBA 2K where they have like it in a Madden game, but you never know. You never know, but yeah, that sucked with that Wiley. Would have been nice to get that because that I need the out of 10 gold because like I've got the, you know, I've got the 1 of 1 already. Let me see. Can I do this? I don't even want to risk moving this one up, but I guess I could. Let me see if I can do this, actually. What if I click this? If I hit this. Hit this. Where did it go? Okay, if I go to here, I deactivate this. Go back to this one. I see why I can't see it because they put me in like the there we go, and I make this like that big. I'm gonna leave it slightly off center so it can annoy somebody, but we can leave it like that until we put something else on there. But yeah, it's like, you know, the Wiley 101. I got the gold, and then the dude didn't send it, and so now I gotta re-get the gold for the rainbow. Though I still gotta work on the other ones. You know, it sucked seeing Wiley get hurt. That was a rough one, considering the fact that, you know, it was cool seeing him score that touchdown for the Packers, him getting another shot, you know, being the Wiley guy. Like, seeing that, like, one random sale of, like, his Bowman first go for, like, $75 for a red was, like, wild, considering that I only paid, like, a little over 2x that for 101. Well, 2 of his 101 first Bowmans, so. You know, it's pretty wild to see that. But hey, you know, it is what it is. You know, we sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. Sometimes you get a dude who just doesn't do what he's supposed to do online. Sometimes you do, but yeah. South Florida folding, of course they are. CFB. Can I just look up bowl games? Bowl games. Of course not. They don't want to show it there. I mean, it's at 3rd and 11. They've got the ball right now, so, you know, surely not going to choke, right? I name the game player on player 50. Boy, that wouldn't be a bad one. Wouldn't be a bad one. All right, we'll have to see about that for sure. You never know. Again, the fact that we're apparently talking about it is really nice. Definitely love to see that one. I mean, it's a cool one. In terms of other stuff, I don't know what else exactly there is. You know, I've just been kind of focusing on just kind of doing whatever. Like, the past couple months, I've been doing a ton of content creation stuff. Obviously, stuff on here and making a new channel, trying to do stuff on that one. It's ended up just taking a lot of time, but I've kind of gotten better at time management. Like, it's amazing how much more you can do if you start playing a little less video games. Just saying that, it's not like I've stopped playing. It's just like, when you're not playing as much and you're not just doom scrolling as much, like, you can get a lot of stuff done. So, a little life hack or, like, life advice: stop doom scrolling. Don't go watching an hour and a half worth of YouTube shorts or Instagram reels or whatever Facebook's is or TikTok. You can get a lot of stuff done. Also, it's great when you also stay up till 3 a.m. and wake up at like 11 and have the worst sleep schedule in the world. That also helps a bit. But hey, that's a different topic for another day. So it's been helpful being able to make a lot of stuff, and yeah, it's just, man, it's something else. UFL though, man, I'm hoping it ends up being good. But yeah, good thing for you, the face reveal will never be a thing people ask you. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's always good to not have to deal with that. And any sort of thing like that. I know what you're talking about. Like, I remember a while ago, I had another channel that had something like that, and then people were asking. I was like, okay, so we're just joking, because, like, yeah. Like, I've technically got, like, 3 YouTube accounts, though I don't upload. Like, one of them I use to watch videos. One of them I use to upload UFL content. And I have the one that's the Pokemon account. That one I watch Pokemon account on it, because I'm trying to actually build that one. Nowadays, you apparently have to actually interact with other people, which I do not do in this account. I literally watch, like, the only videos that have watch hours on this account are, like, a couple around the UFL videos and like my own videos when I have to go share it to Facebook, because you have to share it through the video. You can't just do it with the link. So, I just have those 3 accounts. I haven't uploaded the one because I ended up stopped playing zombies a bit, so I wasn't doing as much EWR stuff on there, but maybe I'll get back to that at some point. I don't know, it got kind of annoying just because, like, it's like Xbox Game Pass ended up not getting Game Pass Ultimate because I was getting it from somebody else. They went to PC, and I'm not going to spend $30 a month on Game Pass. Like, I say that like I'm not spending like 15, but again, 15 is versus 30 is a big difference. Because, like, if I'm spending 30 a month and I'm only doing it for like 1 or 2 games, it's like I could just buy the 2 games for, $140. And over the course of, a year, I'd end up making money. So I didn't. Like, maybe I'll get CFB 25 at some point instead of trying to wait for EA Play and all that. But I don't know. Is it a tougher call for that? I don't know for sure. That's kind of how it's with that one. And again, a lot of free times have helped with a lot of things, getting the collection boosting and all that. Like, my Golden Age Submariner collection was like 1 comic this year, like heading into this year. And I've added like 4, which is, for Golden Age Submariner stuff, it's like really big, and that's not even like, that's just for the run. It's not considering the other Golden Age issue I got, which isn't a Submariner book, but still is one. So it's nice. Then, getting a couple other massive key books, getting, my Grail Delphox card. The one expensive Delphox card was huge for this year. So, like, it's been a pretty good year. Again, the UFL stuff, especially the last couple months, I've been a bit skeptical, but as an overall year, it's been a pretty good year. When you learn to just kind of do what you want and kind of just, do what you want, and you end up feeling more free, and you end up seeing things actually help you out in a life way, you get better at time management, you get better at knowing things that work or not. Like, it's not a bad thing, I know I'm kind of yapping, like, this is, like, pure yap, not, like, informative yap, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, when you eventually learn to kind of just not give a crap, it ends up being kind of good. Like, do what you want as long as it's not harming anybody and all that. And it ends up working out pretty fine, Take time to better yourself, and, do things like going for a walk every day, eating healthier, Like, nowadays, I guess little life advice. Nowadays, you'll see people talk about, like, Ozempic and all those kind of things as, like, these necessities to lose weight. It's not. Like, it's not. You don't need it. It can help some people, and obviously some people do have actual health-related reasons why they need it, but you really don't need to. Like, it is as simple as they say: watch what you eat a bit less, work out, go for walks. I can tell you from somebody that's, lost 80 pounds just doing that, just walking. Like, I have been to the gym about 4 times in the last 2 years, and I've lost 80 pounds. Why? Because I just went for walks, did cardio, ate less, and ate better. It's not like it's just a time thing, right? Because, like, what'll happen is people, like, lose 10 or 20 pounds. They'll be like, I'm stuck at the same weight for, like, a couple months. Like, yeah, that happens. And once your metabolism starts building up again, to get better, you'll then lose weight again. Like, I've had a lot of times losing weight where, like, you'll be going down quickly, then you'll, like, plateau, and then you'll just go down quickly again. It's just how it works. And so it's like, something like that, just take time to do it, Learn new things, learn to sew, which I've done this year, get back into things you haven't done in a long time, like shooting. I haven't shot in a long time, got a revolver, started shooting. And so it's, nice to do that all. Even YouTube, again, like, what I'm doing right now, I couldn't have done this 2 years ago. Managing 2 accounts while doing a bunch of other stuff, I just couldn't do it, but now I can because I'm much better at time management. And it's just nice, like, sometimes just, simple stuff, experience is good, learn about different things that you can, and it's nice. He's watching like a lot of people, he thinks before he says stuff. That's a good thing, especially if you're gonna do live streams, you gotta really think before you say stuff. Just like, you always gotta be skeptical when the biggest, like, when you see, like, guys, like, always critical when they're, like, live streaming and they, like, search something and then they change the thing, it's, it's for good reason. Like, always got to think about what you're doing before, for sure. Fasting and keto is a great route. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that, the biggest change I did recently, which has helped me move, like, 10 pounds within the last, like, I think month-ish, was that I didn't do, like, true fasting, but, like, there's 2 different kinds of fasting. There's, like, legit fasting where, like, you won't eat for, like, a day or 2 out of the week. Like, you won't eat on Wednesdays, you won't eat on Thursdays, whatever. I did it where it's like, basically my routine, I don't eat breakfast, is like eat lunch, have a snack with lunch, have dinner, have like a dessert with dinner, and have a snack after dinner. Now in the past, it would be like, I have lunch at like, 11 to 12, and then I have dinner at like 6 to 7, I'm sorry. And then I have like a snack at like 10. Now instead, I'll have dinner at again 6 to 7, and then like 7 to 8, like within an hour, I'll have the snack. And then it's to where I'm not eating period from usually 9 o'clock to like 11, if not 12. So like over 12 hours straight, I'm not eating. Obviously that includes sleeping, but it's a big difference because then, you're having more time to just digest the food instead of having to like always have food in you. And so it's always been really nice with that. And so that change recently has been a big one. Because especially considering the fact that before this, I wasn't having a dessert, but the fact that I'm now having a dessert and still losing weight because of the fasting, it's like, it shows that if I were to also cut out the dessert I have with dinner and just have, the snack afterwards, I'd be able to lose even more weight, which is a good thing. I haven't really eaten breakfast since high school. Dude, even in high school, I didn't eat breakfast. Like, because for my households that I grew up in, like, cooking breakfast was, like, a rarity on, like, the weekend. Or the summertime. Like, summertime, my dad would cook breakfast a lot. But then it eventually became, like, not as much because then you're going to work, and then, so you just didn't. And then you get older, and you're expected to make it, and you just don't. And again, when you have a shitty sleep schedule where you wake up at, like, 10 to 11:30 every day because you stayed up till 4 like I did last night, you can't really have breakfast at 12 o'clock. You know what I mean? So, it's a big part of that. But, again, like, that was a big thing this year. Like, one of my goals, I think I mentioned that I had some goals. Remember the state of the channel video, I had like some goals. One of my goals was to get down to like 220 in weight, and I've already hit that like a couple months ago, and I'm like still going down. And so it's like, that was a goal I was hoping to accomplish by the end of the year, and instead I'm like gonna like steamroll that goal. And so it's like, setting goals is definitely something I'm gonna probably do again, because the other goals were like more so collection goals, and I didn't do exactly what I said, but like, it's weird. Like, I basically accomplished them. Like, I accomplished, like, I wanted to get, like, 3 of my 5 goals. I got 3 of them. Really, 4 of them. Just 3 of them were, like, altered. Like I said, I wanted to get a Fantastic Four number 4, the first Silver Age appearance of Submariner. And instead, I got an Alex Schomburg cover of the, the Golden Age, Like, instead, picked up a Golden Age, Alex Schomburg cover. Like, I may not have gotten the Fantastic Four issue, but I got something way better than that, Like an Alex Schomburg cover, like that's the best Golden Age artist. I know, potential hot take. And I was able to get one. And it's like, so I count that as a goal succeeded. The only one I would say that I didn't really get was the Seaver Rookie. I needed to get a Seaver Rookie for my 67 top set. I didn't get it, but I did get like a lot of other cards I needed. Like, I'm to the point now where I'm 2 cards away from the low series set being fully complete, which in itself is a lot. But that's the one I would say. So I really would say that, like, the Gretzky Rookie, I think the Zomb Phox card definitely overtakes that one. So I'd say I definitely got 3 of the 5 is what I would say for sure. So ready to hear OK Zoomer in 40 years time. Oh my god, don't say that. Zomb Phox JK. Hey, I could. Okay. You want to see the big thing? You want to see one of the 2 big things I got this year? Because there's like 2 big items I got this year. Like 2 items that were big. Because like I'm a guy who, I don't spend 4 figures. Like even if I have the amount to do it, I don't do it. And I only have that amount once in a while. That was because of the fact you looked at the door. But like, well, yeah, I've got 1 thing at the door and I got 1 thing in here. There was like 2 big items I got this year. And that was, again, because of the Pokemon. So before I do this, let me preface this by saying this. So, I got a Pokemon, like, sealed collection. And I had it. It was investing stuff. And now, against what other people think investing means, whenever you get to the point you want, you do it. This is before the scalper stuff. Like, I would, like I got one when I went to Canton. I got, like, when I went to Canton 2 years ago, I got a Lost Origin booster box. I just got it at a card shop. Like, I would get, like, 1 box here or there and just put it in my closet. And it all just spiked because I had it the right time to where I basically held for like a year and everything like 4x'd. Because there was a Submariner Comics #1 in a CGC 0.5, which, again, I ain't got the money to buy anything other than a 0.5. So I ended up, going after that one, so I sold everything. And I ended up not winning it. So I ended up having the money left over that I was going to use to get that, and that's how I was able to get the 2 things I got. I mean, that's also how I was able to get the tattoo and afford that, was with that money. That's how I was able to get this. And so it led to the big one. Anyone who's a comic fan knows what this is. They see this, they already know what this is. And they know exactly what this is. The first appearance of Punisher in a 9-2. So this was a big book. This is the biggest comic I have by a wide margin. It's not my favorite. My favorite is the Schomburg cover, even though that one is worth like literally under a third of this. This is still a big one. Like, this was a massive one to get, for sure. And again, it was all because I just didn't win the other issue, Like, I didn't win the one I was really wanting, and I was like, I want to get this one. Like, it's not, Namor's not my favorite character, but it's one of my favorite Marvel characters, and I was like, hey, and go for it. So, or Thug living around us in between. And so I got that one. Now, the other one's outside. I don't want to go outside and get it. I say outside as if, like, it's a long journey, the treacherous journey ahead, but I'm going to pull a photo of it up. This is the, for those of you that collect anything, you all know what I'm about to say. There's the fire item. Like, your house is burning down. You have time to save 1 item. Like, what's the 1 item you save? And for a while, it was close. Like, this cam was one of them because of the sentimental value. This was the first card I got when I got back into collecting. My dad got this for me with a Cam Newton jersey. The Babe Ruth I pulled is one of them. And it was like those cards were tough. But then when I got this one, this is the, all right, this is the 1 item I'd save. The like clear cut. Nothing else is even close to it. If I can find the picture of it. You would have imagined I would have remembered exactly when I got it, but I don't. Like the day, because I just know it was like in the summer. We having a laugh because I can't find it. Trying to talk it up and I was trying to stall, and then we got there it is. And that would be this one. The Art Academy Delphox card. When I was younger, like, even when it was like, when that was new back in 2015, that was a card that I never thought I'd own. Because Delphox is my favorite Pokemon. Again, I know, shocking to do with a Delphox tattoo as Delphox favorite Pokemon. But like, there's this Art Academy thing in 2015 where Pokemon had a competition, and they had people use the 3D Art Academy game to make a Pokemon, like a picture of it, and the winners would get their card printed. 100 copies were printed. I know not all of you guys are like full Pokemon fans, but I know you guys know that like Pokemon cards are not rare printed like that. So it was always an insanely tough card to get. Luckily, Piggery, the one who had that one, is one of them who actually sold their copies in some of them, because some of them never really got rid of their copies and you never can find those cards in the wild. She was one of them. I think her name is Lucy. I saw her on Twitter. Uh, random. And so luckily, it's like the third cheapest of them. Like the Chespin's the cheapest. Like that's one you can get for under $3,000. It's one of the cheaper ones. And again, because the timing worked out, when that Submariner book, I lost it. This auction was like the month after. So like I was able to work for a full month to like get extra money in case I needed it. Which again, like this was a lot. Like the Submariner Comics one would have been by far like a country mile the most expensive thing I ever purchased. This was like half of what I was gonna pay for that. But it was like, so because of that, I was able to get both that Spider-Man book and the Delphox card, was because I didn't win that one, which again was because I got the sealed Pokemon stuff. Nowadays, sealed Pokemon, it's so insane because everybody's investing and it's really just a bunch of flippers and scalpers, so you can't really do the same thing anymore. Maybe I'll get, like, I have 2 boxes of like PC Center ETBs, but it was, it's like a Bob Ross. It was a happy little accident, right? I didn't win the thing I was going after, and I ended up getting something more like sentimental in terms of like when I was a kid I wanted that, and like when I was younger and I was like I'm never gonna get it, and then I say kid as if I was like 5 years old when that came out, but it was insane, and it really is wild to think that I own that one now. Like that's the thing where I own it. I'm like, man, I can't believe I actually own it. Like even the Spider-Man book, I don't feel that same way for it, or even the Schomburg covers. And I say covers because I got you can't see it, but I got the Human Torch cover, which has Namor on as well. But, like, this is the one where I was, like, got it in hand. I'm like, man, I can't believe I own this. Because I own every single Delphox card in existence. Which, for Delphox, isn't a big deal. Because Delphox obviously doesn't have a ton of cards. Because, like, the entire collection of Delphox cards is... Let me get to the page. Is, like, the 2 that came in, like, the starter deck thing. The holo and the regular... Then that's the Art Academy one. This is like a proxy. This is just the screen image printed. Then you got the X and Y card, the regular, the holo, the reverse holo, the Cosmos holo, and the base version. This is from a deck. This is from like a blister. The holo Delphox from Fates Collide, I believe that one is. Yes, it is. The reverse holo, the League reverse holo, the deck exclusive base, the Delphox Break, Delphox EX, that's another holo Delphox, reverse holo, the V full art, regular, reverse, and then 2 exclusive code cards, and then the sleeves. So like, I own every Delphox card in existence, like English Delphox card in existence. I also have like 1 Japanese one, whereas like Meowscarada, I'm missing a few there at the bottom. Well, a couple of these I have in my Paldea binder, but then I'm still missing some of those. Or like Zekrom. I've got like this whole empty page here for Zekrom. Only got 1 here, only got 1 here. And then same like here, like I'm missing a bunch. The same thing goes for like Typhlosion and Lugia, but Delphox, like I've got every single one. I'm not looking forward to the Mega Delphox cards coming out in the upcoming TCG set, whatever that is. And the only reason I say that is because I'm not looking forward to the possibility of Delphox getting like a gold card and it being like some stupidly scalped card being worth like hundreds. I'm not looking forward to that. But yeah, that was a big deal. So that was a really cool one. Again, like 2024 or 2025 has been a really good year for sure for me. Again, and this is despite the fact that even the year prior was also a really good year. Like 2024 was still a really solid year. But this one was also another really good one. Again, just, having fun. It's like that. Life is fun sometimes. It is. It's a thug among us, man. Built like Ray Lewis in his prime, okay. But, like, it was a fun year. There's a couple things that, coulda, shoulda. GalaxyCon, you had one of the Sonic voice actors there. Wish I would have been able to go get another Sonic comic signed. I only have, like, 2 of them. I'd love to get another one. Signed by different actors. Like I got Jason Griffith on one, and like Rob Paulson on another. Would have loved to do that, but timing, finances didn't work out. Couldn't do that one. Like there's a couple things like that. A couple comics I could have won, but in the end, I usually instead of winning one would get another. So it's like, is it really that big a deal? Same with cards. In terms of like actual big regrets, probably one of that Spider-Man I probably could have waited a bit to get it a bit cheaper, But really, the biggest one would be like one of the other Golden Age Submariner books. Like instead of getting that, I could have saved that to get a Seaver rookie for that set, but I don't really care. Like, I mean, here's another piece of life advice I'll give. Right, this is mainly for like buying and selling stuff. If you sell something and you make money, don't kick yourself if you could have made more. Like I've seen a lot of people on like Reddit, YouTube comments, YouTube videos being like, man, I can't believe I sold this card that I paid $20 for $150 when it's worth like $400 now. Like, brother in Christ, you over 5x'd your money. Not bad. That's 7.5x, 20 to 150. Like, you made a lot of money on it. Yes, you could have made more, but you did make money. Like, I know that because there are things like, again, those boxes I sold that I just mentioned. Because of that, I was able to get that comic and that Delphox card in my cost for significantly less than I paid for it. But if I had held those, I'd have even more money now. I don't look back and then be like, oh man, I can't believe I sold that Lost Origins booster box for a few hundred. Like, you made money, Now, there's specific times where it's like, yeah, you probably really messed up. Like, there's a couple examples where, like, if you have, like, a holy grail item, like a PSA 10 Blaine's Charizard First Edition, and then you sell it for, like, when it's down, like, that's different. That's, like, one of those, like, bro, you shouldn't have sold it. But for, like, 99.9% of things, like, if you make money on something, just be happy. Like, don't go, I can't really sell. Like, there was a card I sold early this year that is up another $500. I don't look back on it at all because I made a lot of money on it. I'm not going to sit there and whine and cry and be like, oh, woe is me because I didn't spend enough. Like, dude, no. If you make money, be happy, Take your profits. Try not to get losses. It's what I've been doing collecting now. If you're going to get into collecting, always think about what the future value is going to be. Don't always base your purchases on the value, but obviously if you want something, get it. Like my Wildy collection, how damn well ain't going to go more money. But like if you're doing like a comic book collection, think about if stuff goes down, what isn't going to go down or what's more likely to go up. Golden Age, I'm a Submariner collector. Yes, I could get a lot of Silver Age stuff. I have the whole Silver Age run, not in high grade at all. I didn't spend that much money. But the Golden Age stuff is the safest play. It's not going to go down because it's so rare. And so it's like, that's how I usually think about my collecting now. What is least likely to go down in the future? Because if I have to sell it, I have money for it. And so that's something I've always done. I know what you mean. I was just taking a finance class as well. It's always, those are fun classes. Like, no, Trevor, you guys are still in here? Finance classes are really fun. You learn a lot of good stuff. Great investment, so are brokerage accounts. So like, that's how I've always started doing collecting now, is like thinking about like the older stuff. Like older stuff is just such a safer play. Again, like the 67 top set, like that's a set that is just gonna go up. It's an iconic set. It's a pre-7. It's mainly like they say pre-70s, really pre-69 set. So it's a big set, but I gotta actually work on it. I got lucky that I got a couple of key cards cheap, and by cheap I don't mean like for free, but like I got the Mantle when I was in Canada. I think I put that in a video and ended up grading like a 5.5, so it was like a really good purchase. Got a Hank Aaron, really saw it for like $50. Literally started with a few cards, and somebody just so happened that I knew that just so happened to buy a collection that had like a bunch of 67 commons, to where I got like a bunch of the regular set. Again, the high number is a bit different. I still need a lot of high numbers, but it's like, it'll be fun because once I complete it, that's a big thing to have. 67 top set, like damn, especially in mine, because like most of the ones you see selling are like average, like they're usually like PSA 3 to 5 condition average for like even the big cards, and it's like being generous. Like my lowest graded card is technically it's the Rod Crew and Authentic. My lowest is like the Clemente and a 4.5. But that's what I mean. Like with the finance topic, like supply and demand. So if you get older stuff where the supply is astronomically lower, it's the odds of it holding value are so much higher than new things, because like the new things have to keep that demand. It's like with the new Pokemon cards. Again, like it's a big topic I talk about on my Pokemon channel. Like these new Pokemon cards are like PSA 10 pops of like 20 to 30,000. That's compared to these older ones, even dating back to like the Sun and Moon era, where it's like a few thousand, like maybe 4,000 to 5,000 or even 2,000, and then like X and Y, black and white, like under 100, or like older ones. And it's like, dude, at some point the supply does matter, and so like the supply is a big deal. Like the Submariner issues. Aside from Submariner number 1, I don't think there's a single Submariner issue in the Golden Age Submariner comics that has over 100 copies graded. So that's like insanely rare. So again, supply and demand. You don't have to have a ton of demand if it's rare. There's a cool crypto called Goku. Good old crypto stuff. Kabuto coin. Oh, Kabuto, that's a cool one. I bet some of you have heard about that one. Kabuto, for those who don't know, Kabuto was like just out of nowhere just started spiking because this one dude says he's like trying to buy them all. Meanwhile, he literally, like, he owns like 2,000 copies for a card that has like, I think it's estimated like a few 100,000 printed, if not a million. It's pretty funny, not gonna lie. It really is, but it's something else. So that was a fun one, but again, like this year, definitely pretty good one. Like, I know the state of the channel video for 2026 is probably gonna be mostly positive about like life stuff and somewhat negative about the UFL stuff, because it's like, you know, we're seeing all these big changes. Like, I don't know exactly what's gonna happen with the UFL stuff, but the state of the channel video is gonna be interesting. It's the one thing I hate about like hindsight making this channel in December is like, because then I do an anniversary video and then like a month later I do the state of the channel. Like, it'd be better if this was like in November so that I have a month break in between. But again, this type of live stream is definitely fun to do. I'll probably do this one next year as well. You know, just talking about random life stuff, you know, overall, sports and all that. And the finance stuff is a whole another topic. It's a big reason I was very happy to make that Pokemon channel, so I could talk about like investing stuff with Pokemon cards and all that. Like, talk about things. Like, one of my favorite things, like one of the first videos I did in that channel was a Heritage recap auction. It was like the fourth to now Heritage Pokemon auction. There was like a Fujishima Art Academy, like the Delphox had. It's literally Zomb Phox Pokemon. It's literally just Zomb Phox Pokemon instead of UFL. But like, instead of the Delphox, it was one of the Pikachu ones. I said in that video that whoever bought that card spent way too much. That was a card they overpaid by about 10 grand because they spent 25,000 on it. I shit you not. Less than a month later, on eBay, another copy of the Fujishima Pikachu and a PSA 10 came up for auction on like eBay. It sold 15 grand. I was like, damn, like that immediately proved that I had like, I wasn't totally blowing smoke out my ass. Like, I called that it was a $10,000 overpay, and it literally just so happened that a few weeks later, another one sold for 10,000 less, and I'm like, dude. And you know, it's one of those, because the Pokemon landscape, man, especially card one, it's like so wild because you have so many people that are like, they're like PSA shills or like ultra modern shills. Like, I made a video talking about ultra modern hype and I got so many negative comments in that one. Like, that was like a video that blew up like legitimately, and it was like so funny seeing people complain about it, because I'm like, dude, like another one I called, and I'll mention that in a second. I do not stream on Twitch. I've been thinking about it, but I know Twitch, you usually want to be somewhat consistent. I don't know if I could, like, if I can get to a point where I can consistently stream at least like once on this day every 2 weeks, then I might. But like, and if I get a better PC, because like, I feel like this PC, I don't know if I could, like, even with the big RAM update, thank God I got that RAM update when I did. Like, I know it's been a while, it's like been months, like almost a year now, but thank God I went and got the RAM when I did. Because the RAM that I bought for this PC now, it's not the one that would have been like insanely high, but man, I would not be looking forward to spending like $200-300 on the RAM I got in this PC. But I don't stream. But back to what I was saying with the Pokemon stuff, it's like, there was another thing they called, like, there's these new Mega Hyper Rare Gold cards that are like full gold cards that are like 1 in like 6 cases. And I have people talking about, oh, they're so rare, they're not common. And I'm like, dude, it's going to have more copies graded than the old gold cards and Legendary Treasures. I shit you not, we're in December, we're not even at the end of the year, they've already overtaken those 2 cards. And it's just, it's just wild. I think it's great. Like, there's a couple things I'm glad I've already called out and been good about. And that channel, like, it's hard to value the success of it, but so far it feels like it's doing pretty well for a new channel. Like, I've gotten a decent amount of videos that got like 300 views and all that. It's pretty much just the card ones, because I've been doing games on there like Legends EA, but like, I don't want to quit the playthrough, but it definitely feels like I gotta just go to a card channel on there, because the card stuff is just doing so much better. Like, I just made a Reddit video where I just made fun of a bunch of people on r/pokeinvesting and r/pokegrading. Comments, very positive. Liked, dislike ratio, very positive. Overall views, very positive. So it's like, yeah. Having a good rig is important. Like NVIDIA 5080. Yeah, my graphics card's pretty bad. I think like my RAM is solid. It's only DDR4, but again, DDR isn't the big thing. But it's like 32 gigabyte RAM, so it's very solid. Like, it's got solid RAM, especially since 8 is still considered like, you know, industry minimum, and I got 32, so I'm fine there. It's just I know like the graphics card and some of those things are a bit weaker. Cause like I know like when I will be recording, cause when I'm recording Legends EA, I'm obviously using OBS and like there'll be lag, not super common, but there'll be lag, and even when I'm just like earlier today I was recording the Heritage video, there was a bit of lag when I'm just recording a black screen. But yeah, GeForce RTX being pretty amped up. Definitely something I gotta think about doing is upgrading this again. I don't remember exactly what this PC specs capable with, but like I know like when I tried to get what's it called? Helldivers, it didn't really work on this PC. Despite the fact that my specs were actually good enough for it, though from what I understand it's an issue that isn't super rare, where it just won't load. But so like I do know that if I'm gonna eventually stream on Twitch legitimately, I'm gonna have to like get a better card. Cause like it's one thing to stream like, you know, a football game and have like only 2, maybe 3 things open at once. But like if I were to like do Twitch stream and like I don't know, do like gameplay stuff, it's probably gonna be too much for this PC. But I don't know for sure. You know, maybe I trust the hardware a bit more. I don't know. Maybe it's I'm using it a lot more recently. Again, making all the video stuff for the different accounts, so maybe it's okay. I mean, I've gotten better at editing. It's one thing like it's pretty messed up to say, but I've been definitely doing a lot more editing and like YouTube stuff in the other channel than this one. Because this one I just like that one I'm putting tags in videos that have like an end of screen thing. This one I don't, but I don't really feel like this channel needs that. But you know, it's interesting. It's also because like part of the reason I started that other channel is not because I've always been a Pokemon fan, but it's also because it's like, let's say the UFL does fold after this year. I don't want to change this channel into something completely different, because like I would probably change it to just an NFL channel, but at the same time I don't want to do that. So like I'd rather have another channel that I could then in theory focus all my time and energy in if something happened to the UFL, then try to like force that onto this audience, because I don't like that idea. And I know a lot of other people talk about it. I think it's pretty messed up. Like if somebody like changes their videos completely and they just do it in the same channel, it's like, dude, really? I mean, because all I know though is that, man, it's gonna suck when the season starts. Just because like I only say that because making the like video is gonna be tough, but I got pretty good last year. I was able to do pretty well last year. Basically, what I would do was as soon as the game ended on Sunday, like I would start editing the video for the power rankings. That's how I was able to get the video out on Monday. I basically have the entire video, like I wouldn't have the audio recorded, but I have every image already made for Monday, so I could then record it early Monday, edit it later on Monday, and have it out by 6. Then that night I'd work on the week review, or I would also do that on Sunday, so I'd record both videos for Tuesday, and then it would lead to me being able to make a different video on Wednesday, or just wait to do the, you know, betting picks video on Friday. So it was a very good strategy I had, and doing the live streams really didn't hurt that much. It only somewhat hurt when I streamed the last game of the weekend. That's something I might try to avoid, because when I did that, it made it take longer for me to get ready to editing. Because usually right after I stream is when I like go for my daily walks and all that. So that would be the one thing I'd probably change. Is wolf in sheep's clothing? And I see here. Here's how I put it. He is. I think I mentioned this in a previous live stream video. He's a lot like Donald Trump was for the OG USFL. And what I mean by that is when Trump bought the Generals, he was not buying a USFL team. He was trying to buy a cheap way to an NFL team. I have a feeling that Rapol, instead of buying or creating a league, is trying to buy a league and force it into his vision of a league. And to a degree, it's a good thing, but the issue is when you're pissing off your core fan base. Like, it feels like he's going too hard into the regional aspects. The fact that there's now rumors that they are, in fact, going to blow rosters up makes me believe they're going to blow them up. Put, like, some sort of age or seasonal limit. Make it almost fully based on regionality, which I don't think is a good thing whatsoever. I think it's a really bad decision. So, it's risky. I think that he needs to have his phone taken away from him on Twitter, honestly. But I think that it's one of those things where I'm not super, like, hyped up on thinking that he's going to do the great thing for this team or this league. I feel like he's making things that he wants. Like, he wants the league to look like this, so he's going to do it instead of making his own league. So it's hard to say if I'd fully call him a wolf in sheep's clothing, but I will say I just don't think he's necessarily, like, the greatest thing in the world for the league. Like, I think that overall it's going to cause issues, and it's going to suck to see, but we don't know. Like, And it's because the fact that, it's the RFL, on God. But it's mainly because, like, when you just have this big announcement that Ted Ginn Jr. is the head coach, it's like, that's such a deflating announcement. Because, like, again, optics. Like I was talking about in the video I made, like, last week. A lot of it is optics, about reading the room. Why would you do that announcement after Skip Holtz just left the league? Like, you just lost the best coach in the league, and the next piece of news we get is a new coach, and it's Ted Ginn Jr. Like, it's not just the fact he's a first-time head coach, but, like, it's different if it's a big name. Like, I know he's a big name for Ohio State, but, like, this isn't like, you got, like, a massive name, like a former Ohio State quarterback recently. Like, this is Ted Ginn Jr. This guy hasn't been playing football in years. He's been kind of out of the media loop. So, it's not like, seeing Deshaun Jackson or Mike Vick get jobs in college. So, that's the one thing I think that does suck about it. But, I don't know, we'll see. I will say it is good knowing that we're not waiting until January for all the big announcements, because he made it sound like we were literally not going to find out anything until January. But we only know 2 of the 8 head coaches. We still need to find out 6 more. Hopefully they're good. Hopefully they're good names. Hopefully we get some good names, but you never know who they're going to be. I hope they're good names, Hopefully it's not AJ McCarron to the Stallions. Hopefully it's not, like Luis Perez is retiring from football. He's going to coach the Renegades. Like, hopefully we get, like, actual coaches for some of these teams. Because at the end of the day, you need that. And I hope that we get some young coaches that are, like, guys who deserve opportunities, like Jaron Horton, like Peyton Pardee. I mean, it's pretty insane to think there's a very real likelihood we won't get either of those guys as a head coach. I know I've joked about it online already, but, like, the move for Pardee to go to the Gamblers is just such a slam dunk move. It is insane. He coached the Roughnecks under Wade Phillips when they were in Houston. His grandfather coached the original Gamblers. It just, come on. Imagine Colin Kaepernick sued Trump for the old league. That would be a fairy tale in anarchy. Oh my God. Colin Kaepernick. What a name. I love how people have brought his name up with the whole Phillip Rivers thing. Being like, oh, why didn't they call Kaepernick? When it's like, dude, Kaepernick hasn't played, like, we talk about Phillip Rivers hasn't played in years, dude. Colin Kaepernick hasn't played in, like, almost a decade. Like, oh, I will think it was funny. That was funny. Cam was sad funny, but, like, it was weird. Like, as a Panthers fan, I think I know better than a lot of other people with Cam. Like, the whole issue with Cam is his shoulder is just fucked. Like, part of my language, it's so messed up. Like, you gotta remember, like, in the NFL, you get basically, like, punished for playing through pain. Like, we give Baker credit when he played through pain for the Browns. Dude, Cam did it, like, multiple times. Like, when he got hit by TJ Watt, it's like people act like, oh, that ended his season. Like, I'm pretty sure he played. Like, that was when he got hurt, but he ended up playing, like, 5 more weeks. Like, he was playing with a total bum shoulder. And then, it just kept getting worse. Because the thing is, like, yes, he took a lot of big hits. And he wasn't protected. Like, he wasn't protected. Like, he is the entire reason there was that whole conspiracy that black quarterbacks don't get the flags. It's because he didn't get the flags. Anyone else would have gotten the flags. He never got them. I know, because I remember when the Falcons headhunted him and there was no flag thrown, but when Kiko Alonso did it to Joe Flacco, they threw about 18 flags like that. So I know that they didn't throw flags for him. But with that being said, Cam's shoulder was mush. He was still more accurate than I think a lot of people remember him when he was with the Patriots at the end, and he was still able to run much more than people think. The lip spring injury did definitely affect him, but it's the shoulder. So, like, I feel like he's half joking, half serious, but I don't know. Like, I'm not shocked no team is calling him. It's just that the injuries really did break his body down in a lot of ways. But, man, I will say Cam has got to be one of the most disrespected quarterbacks in football history. Like, dude, if you put him on this Eagles team, like, people act like Hurts is better all time. Need to shut the hell up. Like, dude, Cam Newton with that Eagles team, like, you gotta remember, Cam's best receiver, his career, was, like, Greg Olsen. Not just Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen is not a Hall of Fame tight end. Oh, he had Steve Smith. He had Steve Smith for, like, a year. Because Steve Smith was on the Ravens, like, in 2012, I believe, or 2013. Like, he had Steve Smith for, like, a year or two. Like, he played his career with Greg Olsen as best receiver. His best wide receiver was, like, Devin Funchess or Kelvin Benjamin. Kelvin Benjamin famously quoted by Booger McFarland being a Popeye's biscuit away from being a tight end. Those were his 2 best wide receivers. Like, Cam never had a good receiving core. He had an okay offensive line for, like, 3 years with the Khalils, but only one of them was, like, really good. I was mixed up which one. And so it's like, dude, if he was on this Eagles team, my God, it'd be crazy. Definitely a super disrespect figure. Not be with my name. Art in sports. Good old Chiefs deflate gate. Man, the Chiefs. I will say, I think it's hilarious seeing people being all doom and gloom about the Chiefs. Like, oh, the dynasty's over. It's over. It's like, dude, they're missing the playoffs for 1 year. Like, I think a lot of people are forgetting that. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you'll know this, but I believe they have their first round pick this year. So they're actually just getting a decent first round pick for the first time in years without having to trade. They may have gotten rid of it when they got dude from the Bills, wide receiver. I'm about to say Ray Rice. You know what I'm talking about. But I'm pretty sure they have their first overall or their first round pick this year. So like, oh no, they missed the playoffs. Now they get rewarded with the top like 15 pick. You know what I mean? Like, is that really punishment for them? Not really. So like, I think it's pretty funny. Like people acting like the Chiefs are it's all doom and gloom. Again, it's like when the Patriots had that ACL with Brady. Like they, just came back. Like teams can have a 1 year where they're just not hot. They just have a bad year, and the Chiefs had a bad year this year. We need to lose out the rest of the season for good draft picks. Hey, the tankathon is real, baby. The Raiders are trying to get that spot. The Titans, the Browns, the Giants. The Giants, man. There's a world we live in where the Giants have an otherworldly draft. Because if they get the number 1 overall pick, and you've got a team greedy enough to go after Fernando Mendoza, the Giants could legitimately walk out of that draft night up like potentially 2 first-round picks. Like there's a world where the Giants are able to like just shoot a rebuild like that, and they're right in the playoff contention. Like they just have to get a couple things right and lucky. Because last year they ruined their tank, but in a weird way, it's kind of worked out for them because they were able to still get Abdul Carter when they did. But if they get the first overall pick this year, they don't have to draft a quarterback. They shouldn't draft one. And even though Mendoza is definitely a weaker first overall pick, again, Bryce Young was a weak first overall pick, and look what the Panthers did for him. So it would be wild to see. Like the Giants really could have an insane draft. I think Nope isn't here right now. It was a shame if he was here because I know he'd be happy hearing me say the same with Adam. But like I think the Giants, if they get the first overall pick, they just need to nail their head coaching hire. Their head coach, GM, whatever. They just got to nail those hires, and they can be right back in it. Like they could legitimately win the division next year if they get that right. That's the thing. You get Scatman back. Dart learns to not go head first at everybody, and then you get Neighbors back. You end up getting, maybe you finagle a way to where like you get 2 firsts in that draft. Like you trade down like 2 or 3 spots. So you get like the 4th or 3rd overall pick. You get like the top tackle in the draft or something. Then you like trade your other picks that you got for Mendoza to get like another top 10 pick. Again, the Texans doing that trade up with the Cardinals, I believe, to get Will Anderson Jr. and CJ Stroud has worked out beautifully. The Browns trading down to get Mason Graham instead of Travis Hunter, and then also getting like Schlesinger, Quinshon Judkins. Like the Browns had like an S tier draft. They had a draft that's like close to like the 2017 Saints. So like the Giants are in a really good position. The Chiefs, naturally, they're just one of those teams, like, if they just need to take the best player available. They need to do what the Eagles did for a while, which is just take the best player available. Like, don't care about your weakness. Just get the best player. Unless it's a quarterback, obviously. Just get the best player available, and then you're fine. So I think that's definitely what the Chiefs should do if they lose out, is just get the best player available. For most other teams that are vying for the number 1 overall pick, the Titans, the issue with the Titans is the Titans just suck so much. Like, their roster is so bad that even if they get the first overall pick and they're able to trade it away, it's not really going to have an immediate impact. It's just going to have just it's going to shorten your, 5-year rebuild to, a 4-year rebuild. You know what I mean? But the Titans and the Giants, I believe, are the 2 teams in the tankathon that have a realistic shot of actually getting something. Deactivate this one. Activate that one. What? There we go. So, you got the tankathon right now, right? Like, the Chiefs do on their pick. They're the 12th pick right now. Like, this team doesn't need a quarterback. This team doesn't. This team pretty much does. Unless they're going to ride with Jacoby, they do. Actually doesn't really need one. Doesn't, but still has issues. So it's like, like this team winning it would be huge for them. This would be huge for them. This could be, but they're not going to win it. It's basically these 6 teams vying for it. These 6 teams are vying for the number 1 overall pick. I guess technically the Saints, but the Saints have so many issues with tiebreaker. I don't see it happening. And again, they're 4-10. But yeah, I mean, if Tennessee or New York wins it, it's going to be a big deal because it's going to be a really big deal for that number 1 overall pick to see what ends up happening. Because I believe Mendoza is the favorite to get first overall pick. Overall pick NFL odds. I believe it's Mendoza by a pretty large number. Okay, yeah, it's actually a pretty big number. He's at minus 165. Yeah, so I mean that's a big favorite right there. So that's probably what ends up happening. Oh, the Bears being good is so shocking. I had them going really like. I don't think I had them as like super ass this year, but I had them as like being probably the bottom feeder in their division. Definitely shocking to see how good they are. That's for sure. And it's a good thing, all things considered, it's a good thing to see the team not be terrible. It really is. Like, you want to see teams not be terrible every year. So definitely is a good sign to see them good. I didn't think Ben Johnson was going to be this good a hire. That's really what I thought. Like, I didn't think that Caleb Williams was as good a quarterback as he was hyped up to be, and I didn't think that Ben Johnson was going to be incredible, but hey, ended up working. So, anything else you guys want to talk about, chat? Let me know, because if not, I'll probably end this in a bit, but maybe there's like another topic I forgot about we can talk about for a little bit before I end this one up. Some other sport. I mean, the Quinn Hughes trade, Wild. I didn't even mean to make that joke. Quinn Hughes going to the Wild was shocking. I really expected that the Devils were going to try and pick him up, but maybe it's like issues with Jack Hughes continuously getting hurt. Like, dude will literally like just he'll like sit down and he's out for like 2 weeks out of nowhere, and so that's a big deal. I don't know if he's going to stay. I'd imagine that they made that trade with the idea he's going to stay there in Minnesota with Carell the Thrill, but you never know. Maybe it ends up being the second coming of like the Zach Parise, Ryan Suter era, where you ended up paying 2 guys a ton of money and you just weren't good enough to ever win anything. Hopefully not, because again, they're 2 of like the best players in their position, but you never really know. So that's definitely a big concern. I know there's like a couple other trades that happened, like a goalie for goalie trade didn't really matter. The NBA, I know the Knicks just won the NBA Cup yesterday, which, good for them, but it's the NBA Cup. Are we really going to be like, oh my God, they won the NBA Cup? Like, I don't think so, but hey, congrats to them winning it. They won something. They have a trophy. It's more than the Nets can say, so congrats to them. But in terms of the UFL season, I guess to end this one off let me check one last time on Twitter. Do we have any other breaking news? 182 posts, bro. It's been like, okay, whatever. Has been hard. Curtis Johnson is the offensive coordinator at Southern. Okay. The hell is Southern? But okay. So he's been hired by Marshall Faulk's team. Okay, that offense is going to be elite, I bet. Zach Wilson. Charles Cross out. Injury report and all that. Sean McVay traveled, preventing him from getting sick. The Rams encountering a different travel issue, playing experience, equipment problem. Looks like the Rams got cursed in the curse wheel. Devin Neal, blah, blah, blah. Not really seeing anything else. Okay. So that seems to be about it there. But, yeah. So, I think that'll probably do it. Again, if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, let me know real quick before I end this one. Because if there is, obviously, I'll talk about it. Oh, my sister called. I guess I got to call her back in a bit. I have her wait. That's be messed up, but I guess I could. I don't know. But, again, this is a fun one to do. Nice 2-hour stream. Haven't done as many NFL streams this year. It'd be cool if Mizzou and the KC Royals dominate going forward. We just see the Chiefs empire crumble while the rest of them take center stage. Missouri's is a lot like Iowa, man. It's like every year they're like the same. I'm talking about the football purely. It's like they're the same team. They're always going to be ranked like top 20, but they're never going to win anything. Like aside from maybe a bowl game. But it's like, they're not bad enough to be like, oh, you need to get rid of their coach. Like, especially when you see like Kyle Whittingham retiring. Meanwhile, Kirk Ferentz is just like sticking it Iowa, baby, 8-4 every year. 8-4 is better than 9-8. I will say that. But KC, they could be. That could be fun to see. I mean, hey, KC did win a World Series a decade ago. So they at least got that. You know what? At least you're not the Mets, right? You just traded away like your fan favorite player, Pete Alonso. Not traded away, but let him go. So it's like, you didn't let your best closer walk to then spend almost the same amount of money on a significantly worse closer like the Mets did. So you have your Hall of Fame talent. I think Salvador Perez should be a Hall of Famer. I know it's like a contentious topic, especially because like when you look at him like compared to like Joe Mauer or Buster Posey, it's like a bit hard to be like he's on that level. But I think he's a lot like Big Ben in the NFL. Like he is a Hall of Famer, I think, especially considering like he's still like this sort of resurgence he's had the last couple of years. I think Salvador Perez should be a Hall of Famer for sure. I mean, hell, if Jeff, I know it's not the main bout, but if Jeff Kent's a Hall of Famer, dude, fucking anyone should be a Hall of Famer. So yeah, I think that he should be a Hall of Famer. Random. I guess we did talk about baseball a little bit. Glaze Salvador Perez a bit, but I think that's it. Now for the UFL season, or in terms of streams, I might stream a playoff game like I did last year. I might stream one of the early ones. I might do 2 streams for the rest of the NFL season. I don't know for sure. Be looking for those because I might do it. Again, UFL season, the plan is still to do what I did last year, do the Friday night streams, then one on the weekend. That's probably the plan. I think that, I was able to do it. I don't think I can do 3. 3 is too much for me to do, I think, but I definitely can do the 2, so we'll probably do that. Dude, don't even say soccer, dude. I'm just fucking Real Madrid. That game against Man City, dude, Real Madrid should have won that game. Like, they just, dude, sometimes it's the saying is true. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. Right? Like, you had a great team. You did not need to spend all that damn money on Mbappe. You just screwed your chemistry with Vinny and Bellingham. You tanked your roster. Because of that, greed killed you, and now you're having a down year. You're going to throw the coach under the bus because the players don't want to play for him. Meanwhile, when he's at Bayer Leverkusen, they actually won because they listened to the coach. But yeah. So again, in terms of news, we'll see what happens. Again, I'm kind of hoping I don't have to make another video. I was legitimately hoping to make one video this week and then do this live stream, and then it's like, okay, now I got to do another video. Then I got to do another one. I ended up making, I think it was like 4 videos in the past 3 days. Like, oh man, it's been wild. Especially today. Like, I was literally recording. Like, I was just recording for the Legends EA series on my Pokemon channel. And like after the second part, I go to my phone, check, and I go to like my DMs, and it's like, Ted Ginn Jr. hired as a coach. I'm like, the fuck? Like, I was like, what? And I had to go make a video like that, and it was wild. It's going to be cool hosting the World Cup. I'm hoping tickets are not insane. I'm hoping Croatia plays somewhere near me, and I'm hoping I can go to that game. It's a lot of hopium, because knowing scalpers, knowing the U.S., tickets are going to be like $500 each. But I already know that my sister, not the one that called me, my other sister, said that she would be down to go. So hopefully that ends up happening, but we'll see. Overall, though, I think this is a very fun stream. Thank you guys for being here. I know Lil Kim been here for a while. I know Nope was here earlier for a while, and everybody else was here, Royce and all them. Again, 4 years, as every president says, 4 more years. Hopefully the UFL keeps going so we can keep, this channel going and all that. 5th year anniversary is a big year, and that's obviously coming up next year. So, counting the days, it's going to be 364 tomorrow. And so we're going to be closer to that one. UFL season is like almost 100 days away. I think we're like literally like 4 days away from being 100. So be looking for that, obviously. Well, be looking for that. So, that's going to be coming out. So in terms of potential videos upcoming, obviously we're going to have the, another NFL, UFL players in the NFL video coming out on Monday or Tuesday. We should be expecting to find out more coaches this week. Honestly, it feels like we're probably going to find out somebody tomorrow. Kind of hope not. Kind of want to take a little break from making videos. I still got to make like other videos for the other one. But so I hope this is a fun video or fun live stream, show some stuff I have, talk about some life things, talk about sports and all that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like it, subscribe if you haven't. And as always, guys, and also thank you for the members that are here again. Saw a lot of you. Lil Cam, you're one of them. Trevor was here earlier. Channel members, another big shout out to you guys. And as always, guys, have a great night.